Good evening and welcome to Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia for the first 2015 contest Peninsula District matchup here between the Bethel Bruins and the Kecoughtan Warriors. It's September 18th. And I'm Frank Edgar with Bob Hintz and Brent Musgrove. We're here to bring you a good ball game tonight on a beautiful night of football here in Hampton. Sunny skies, a few clouds, beautiful temperature.
Nice breeze. Will help the punters for sure.
Well, a very good matchup tonight for our first contest here from Darling Stadium. It's going to be a good one. We got the 2-1 Kecoughtan Warriors coming in here against the 1-2 Bethel Bruins, but don't let the records fool you, Bob.
No, every time these two teams get together, you can throw the records out the record book. These kids know each other. They've known each other since they've been playing, actually since they've probably been walking. So they know each other. There's a camaraderie outside football. But they get in here, all of a sudden they're enemies. You know, I want to beat you. You want to have the bragging rights. And you know how that goes. You went to Hampton High. Bragging rights is important to these kids.
Very important. And, of course, hopefully a lot of parents come in tonight, know each other. We'll have a nice big crowd here on both sides to see these teams. You know, they're coming in a little bit different on the offensive side. Kecoughtan been playing very well offensively. I had the one slip up over in Norfolk against Granby, lost 14-13 in really an odd ball game.
Yes, it really was.
And Bethel comes in scoring about 13 points a game against the 30 that Kecoughtan's been putting up. So what do we think about that?
Well, we watched Brent and I came down and watched Bethel play when they played Phoebus, and neither team had any offense. I mean, both teams were great on defense, but all of a sudden nothing. At the end of the game, they have to go into overtime. And the young man from Bethel caught the ball in the corner of the end zone, and I swear his foot was in. They said no because it was a third overtime, and the refs wanted to get out of there. I don't know if that's the case. But you know that that could have gone into another overtime.
Right.
It was finally got some offense, but you only had 10 yards to go.
Right,
so it makes a big difference than trying to drive 70, 80 yards. You know how that works.
Well, that's a tough start for Bethel, and their schedule has changed around a little bit this year. The Bethel Bruins aren't facing Hampton early in the season here.
Right.
Hampton does seem to be the strongest team in the Peninsula District this year
so far.
But this is a good test for the Bethel Bruins. They've come off a good win. That was 4 days ago. And so it's going to be we'll see how they do.
And people might want to know why 4 days. Well, because they had to play Monday because the game was canceled because of the lightning on Friday, so Bethel had to play Monday, and all of a sudden I don't have a full week to prepare for Kecoughtan. Only have really 2 days because one day you're going to run through.
Well, and you got it tough facing the first-year coach over at Bethel, William Beverly. It's that's a tough thing for him to adjust to, but you're going to do it sometime. So let's see how he does tonight.
I tell you, this is looking for a spirited contest. I think both teams, and I'll talk about it a little later, but we're getting ready to go down to Brent. I think Brent's got William Beverly down there now.
Thanks, guys. Of course, I'm here with head coach William Beverly. First-year coach. Now, you have played this system. You've been a principal. You played at Bethel High School in the 80s, graduated there. And all of a sudden you decided, and it wasn't all of a sudden because you've been coaching all along somewhere.
Yes, sir.
But you decided you want to fulfill that dream.
Yes, sir.
And tell us how it came about.
Well, you know, essentially we're always telling our kids to follow their dreams and to do what makes them happy. As you alluded to, I've been coaching since 1993, started here at Bethel. And, you know, I got to a point where I could kind of do what I wanted to do, not what I had to do. So, you know, I kind of took the advice that I had been given to my students all along and to follow a dream, which was to be a head coach at a high school, and it just worked out that it would be Bethel High School. So extremely excited about it and extremely be able to coach these young men.
It's a great circle that you've just completed, coming back and taking over where Kozlowski might have been running around at the time you were there. Let's talk a little bit about your team. I've had the pleasure to see him play. I think your defense is probably, or was, just a little bit ahead of your offense at that point until that Warwick game.
Yes, sir.
Do me a favor and tell me who's the leader of your defense and tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, sir. Well, we have several young men that have stepped up on our defense. I have to name a few because they've done just an outstanding job. Desmond Denny has been an outstanding leader. He plays linebacker for us. He's a kind of an anchor for our entire defense, probably 5'11", about 220. Then he has made the commitment back in March when we were doing morning workouts at 6 o'clock that he was going to be our leader, and he has fulfilled that. And I tell you what, if he can stay healthy and continue to do the things he's doing, he's going to be a special kid throughout the remainder of this year.
Well, we're going to get a chance to talk about some other defensive players during a couple other games we're going to do. Let's switch over to offense a little bit. You got a young quarterback, number 2, but let's talk a little bit number 22, Gillis, and what he does for your team.
Yes, sir. DeAndre Gillis is just one of those kids. He's our bell cow right now. He's a senior. I believe he started his sophomore year in the secondary. And last year he didn't really see a whole lot of time on this side of the ball. I heard about him before I actually got to see him, and because he's a two-sport player, plays baseball as well. But once we started our summer practices, I really got to see the type of athlete that he was. Great attitude, and he's just one of those kids that gives you everything that you need. He's getting stronger as our offense gets stronger. As we kind of get our offensive line solidified, his game is becoming solidified. So I'm looking for great things for him for the remainder of the year.
All right, let's change it but one last question here. Now, this is your first year coaching. Of course, you've watched all these teams for how long?
Yes, sir.
But what have you seen in Kecoughtan tonight as your prime concern? What do you got to do for this game?
Yes, sir. Yes, I've been watching these kids. My son actually played at Woodside last year. He graduated from Woodside. And so I've been watching, Peninsula District very closely. And there's two young men over there that we feel like we've really got to get our hands around early on, and that's Mr. Savage and Mr. Fulgate. Both of them are awesome young men. I've been around them. Savage, his father and I actually were in the same circle. We're Bethel graduates. Outstanding family, but he's a kid that could really give us headaches. And the Fulgate kid, he's just a tremendous athlete, wiry, strong, and very, very tenacious. So we feel like we need to really get to them early and make it tough for them.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you so much for giving me the honor of doing this first interview as a head coach of the Bethel Bruins. Thank you so much for your help this week, too.
It's been my pleasure.
All right, thank you.
Sir.
All right,
Thank
guys,
you.
back up to you.
Well, thank you, Brent. Great to hear from the new coach there at Bethel. And Bob, we were thinking early in pregame that he didn't mention his quarterback. I find that curious, and I know he's testing out tonight. Lakendrell Lothar gets the start tonight. Yeah. He's thrown half as many passes as the other quarterback they've used, Navarro Price. It's interesting to see what Lothar does. Only a junior, and see how he does with that offense.
I think what he's trying to do is jumpstart that offense, give him with somebody different. The other guy had a couple, 3 games. Okay, it's not doing anything. They didn't have any offense until they went against Warwick, and Warwick is probably in the bottom tier of the district this year. When they played Phoebus, great defense, the offense was suspect. It was just unbelievable. But you look at these two teams, and you look at the defense, the size of the defense. One of them averages 284, the other one averages 285. I mean, very, very similar. Then you look at their offensive line, and they're both 230. So we're talking about two teams that's pretty good, matched up, mirror each other offensively and defense. So when they're practicing, they're playing practice against the same size that they're going to play against tonight.
Well, we're going to see early on whether this the slow offensive start for Bethel really is going to carry through the year, or whether they're going to be a breakout like they did Monday night against Warwick, and see if they can't put a few more points. They're going to need more than 13 points to beat the Kecoughtan Warriors tonight.
And that was my other point is on Savage, and we'll get to hear Brent talk to Coach Coley in a minute. But the Kecoughtan last year only got beat by Hampton because Hampton had a good field goal kicker in Lomax.
Right.
So, they don't have one this year yet. Be prepared, because I saw a young man kick off for Hampton last night when we watched him play Woodside, and he was kicking it down the 10-yard line.
That would be a change since even week 1, when we noticed they were handing out applications in the stands for kickers for the Crabbers. So
did you get one?
Yeah. I was a little old for that, but no. That's always a special position for all the high school teams. It's a tough one to fill. It seems like all the barefoot guys that can kick it 60 yards live in Texas. We haven't had too many, but with Bo Lomax with Hampton, and Chase Thomas kicked last year for Kecoughtan, did a nice job. And they become very important, especially in a close matchup like we expect to see tonight.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's a glorious night for football here. I hope more people come out and join the stands this year, because it is, first of all, good group of kids, and you got a good group of dedicated parents, and you got a big band here in Kecoughtan's band tonight. So
Yeah.
it's good to get them out here,
Well,
get the folks out here and support these kids.
Right. Well, we had a chance earlier. Brenton had a chance to walk around and talk with the coaches, and he said I'm going to try to get the interview with Coach Coley, and I believe he's got him down there now.
Thanks again, guys. Of course, I have the distinct pleasure of being here with head coach Alonzo Coley. Coach, thank you so much for the help you guys gave me over there this week, getting our first game off the ground and getting this running. Let's talk a little bit. You come in tonight, I think you're 2-1. You got some experience on this team, and so everybody's looking at you. And I've told you earlier, I have been asked 15 times, what's the story with Mr. Savage? Is he hurt? How hurt is he? So can you get that out of the way for me?
Desmond's fine. He'll be ready to go today, and he's really eager. It's been a little bit, so breaking the rust off last week. He's ready to go now.
Okay, so he's back. You figure 100%, you think, or close? All right, let's talk about another player, a young man that came up from last year, number 3, Tyler Christ. He developed last year for you into your third receiver. Now he's stepping up to do a little bit more for you, understand?
Yeah, we've put him in a good spot, and he's our guy that makes us go, offensively and defensively. He's a terror off the edge on defense, and offensively, man, he's just a jack of all trades. He can do it all for us.
Well, I've been told by some of the coaches, probably one of the best athletes you've got on your team.
Oh, absolutely. He's probably our best player, yes, sir, all around.
All right, let's talk about somebody got hurt last year, really changed your fortunes in the playoffs. Let's talk about just Young Fugate just a little bit. How is he now? He's had the surgery. Everything's back. Where are we standing?
Everything's back. He's all ready to go. Full speed ahead. He was a little gimpy early on, but he's really catching his stride right about now.
So mentally, he's handled it well, too.
Absolutely. It took a little while. I mean, that's a thing to come back from. It's tough.
That was like the first play of the playoffs last year, wasn't it?
First play of the second round of the playoffs, yeah.
And we were over there when he went down. Kind of changed the whole mood in the stands. All right, let's do this one last question. You got a new coach across the field. You've known him for years. You got Kecoughtan over there with some experience. Bethel over there with some inexperience and some experience. Tell us a little bit what you see coming into this night game with a new coach and a new philosophy.
Oh, well, he's definitely put a new spin on it. They're very, very aggressive. Great athletes as usual. But they really come after you, and we expect a real tough game tonight.
Well, I've watched them on defense. It remind me a little bit of Lake Taylor. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. They're flying all over the place. Good job, yeah.
Coach, I want to thank you so much again for all the help this week.
Thank you.
And we'll be doing this again. Okay,
right.
Guys, back up to you.
Hey, thank you, Brent. Appreciate hearing from Coach Coley, and we're going to go right to Bob. You got the officials there?
Yeah, they're getting ready to go out on the field and have the pregame toss. The referee is Todd Tucker. Umpire is Will Gibbs. The headlines are Mark Fry. The line judge, Tony Krug. The side judge, Neil Robinson. The field judge, Brian Davis. And the back judge, Tony Brown. And you and I have watched Kecoughtan play last year and how we were both impressed with Savage. I talked to Mike Smith. He says he's got as quick as release as anybody he's seen playing that quarterback spot. So that's a pretty high praise coming from Mike Smith about this young man. And I talked to Coach Coley, and I said, which foot was it that was sprained? And he said it was the left one. So it's not his push-off foot when he's throwing the ball. That's got to be a good. He was still limping a little bit when he played the other night, but he feels like he's 100% tonight.
Well, the Warriors are going to need him at full speed, I think, tonight, even though Bethel comes in with, again, scoring only 13 a game. They're going to need – Kecoughtan's going to need to score some points tonight to win this ball game, and it's going to be more than 13 or 15. So we'll see what he can do from the quarterback spot. He's got some good support. He's got some great receivers again this year. He's got a couple new members of the front line, so that's new for him.
Right.
Had three 4-year Letterman graduated last year, so it's a new rebuilt front line for Savage.
Well, he had some time to throw last year. I don't know what he's going to have this year because we haven't seen Kecoughtan get a lot of pressure yet this year, and then that's what Bethel's going to bring.
Well, Bethel's much lighter up front than they've been in the past couple of years, mainly because a couple of guys graduated that carried some weight with them. But they've got a big, heavy nose guard, 315-pounder, and then the rest of them right around 200 pounds. So you got a little quickness there on the front line for the Bruins.
Right, and you'll have to look at what's going to happen in the trenches because that's going to determine what kind of plays you play. You're going to be able to run some traps. You're going to be able to sweep these guys. Or you're going to be able to to hold them back so you can drop back and pass and have enough time that you don't have to scramble. And one thing that does concern me about Savage is how much repetition did he get during the off week? How's his timing with the backs, the handing off? And you know how important that is.
It looks like these officials going to get this game going early tonight.
Yeah, they're not wasting it.
Either that or my watch is stopped, but we're going to get going. Again, it's a great night. Let's get on the field and get moving. Ryan Wright's going to kick it off for the Warriors. They won the toss. They deferred. Bruins going to get the ball here first in the first half.
Well, and, you know, if you're Bethel, you want to get out there and say, okay, we need to get out there and make our jumpstart our offense. They've got to do something. Maybe a good run back will do it. Sometimes you and I have seen a defensive play make the offense go. So we will have Bethel offense after the kickoff.
Yeah, very good. Wright lined up to kick it off. See the new formation with the new rules there. Be within 5 yards. And a deep kick.
Oh, that's
picked up there at about the 13. Number 5 gets a shot there.
He made
over the 21-yard line.
He made a turn to twist and get away, and when he did, he run right into it. And I didn't get the number.
Bernard West had picked up the ball, got by him there, and then he got flattened there right about the 20. He's going to start right on the 22-yard line. Bob, you got the Bethel?
Yeah, no, you got
all right.
Oh, I got the Bethel off. I'm sorry. Louder's your quarterback. Chris Lee's your wideout, along with Jeremy Owasu, Bradley. I'm sorry.
Brady Allen.
Brady Allen's your guard. Barker's your center.
DeAndre Gillis is the running back. Dwayne Hudson at the back. Field Joshua Wusu at the tight end spot. We'll talk about the Wusu brothers.
One's a junior, one's a sophomore, and Kecoughtan is defensively have made a statement right there, dropping them back about 3 yards.
That looks like DeAndre Gillis gets the first handoff for the Bruins. Loses 2, second down and 12. Now for the Kecoughtan defense, the defensive line, Tyler Christ, David Moody, Justin Burwell, and Nico Thompson. The linebackers, Skylar Wilson, Kasim Webb. The defensive backs, Caleb Tucker, Jason Fugate. The safeties, DeQuandre Edwards. And in the corner, Zapella Barnes and Eric Rosado. Back is
pass of
Lothar.
the game.
It's supposed to be a pass. He got back. That's Lothar back to the line of scrimmage for the Bruins.
Well, he was trying to slip through, and there was a hole there, but he ran into his one of his blockers, and allowed him to get just back to the line of scrimmage. So we got a 3rd long.
Kendra Lothar, a junior, 6 foot, 180 pounder, gets a start at quarterback tonight.
Well, he's played 3 games and have attempted only 11 passes for 54 yards. No interceptions and no TDs. This is not the start that the Bruins wanted. Yeah. This is not the start that the Bruins wanted.
Lothar in the shotgun position with his 2 backs next to him. He drops back. Right-hander running for his life now. Gets away. And he had his receiver wide open downfield.
Yeah.
In a surprise to even the receiver.
Yeah, the receiver was looking to go up and block somebody, I believe.
Look at Jeremiah Wusu back there. It's hard to see the numbers. Bethel's gone with a new uniform scheme this year, new a helmet design, and then the white uniforms with the yellow shoulders.
And we got, who's the punter tonight?
We're looking at him now. I can't see the number. It's very difficult here from here. I was hoping the yellow numbers would light up after the sunset, but no such luck.
Nice punt. Nice punt.
Very good punt. Fielded on the 41 and dropped by the Kecoughtan receiver. He's got it picked up. More than makes up for the drop. That's number 2. That was for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
That's Louder. That's
that was
the quarterback.
Kevin Davis making the call.
Oh, I meant to look at the wrong roster here.
So Kecoughtan goes to work here, 1st and 10 from the Bethel 44. getting their last set of instructions. Here's the Kecoughtan offense. At quarterback, we talked about Desmond Savage, running back Skylar Wilson, the wide receivers Cameron Stevenson and Keith Grandy. Jason Fugate, the other running back, the tight end Tyler Christ, the line Leon Lowry, Blake Brazier, Keegan Brown. We watch the handoff around the left end.
A fake handoff, and Desmond Savage kept the ball and picked up about 3 or 4 yards. And on defense for the Bruins, we got Stewart at the defensive tackle. Nose guard is Vinny. The other defensive tackle, Mitchell. The defensive ends are Hagan and Norris. The linebackers, Walker and Hill. The middle linebackers, Denny. And that was the young man that the coach was high on. The cornerbacks is Owusu and Trisley, and the Jeremiah Owusu is the safety, and he's just a junior 6'3".
Handoff right up the middle. And stopped after a short gain. 3rd down and 6 for the Warriors. Ball carrier looks like Jason Fugate had it, but they wrapped him up quick. Caleb Tucker hustling off.
This brings up a 3rd and long. Definite passing situation. We'll see, Mike, for the first time, we'll see Savage go to the air. The pressure.
Overthrew, looked like the tight end.
And he was got a lot of pressure. Chris is a young man that stepped up last year, playing tight end, playing linebacker. He's coach said he kind of jump starts everything out there.
The 4th and 6 for the Warriors. Up there at the Bruin 40. Looks like Chris going to drop back and punt. Tyler Christ, 6 foot, 210-pound senior. Snap and a kick that's going to work, although it's not real pretty. The ball about 20 yards downfield. So the Bruins go to work. Their second possession here in the first quarter from their own 21-yard line.
This is what we watched against Phoebus. Just couldn't get anything going. In fact, they ended up with a loss of 3 or 4 yards when they had the punt. And I really believe that the change in the quarterback was something that the coaches are trying to get something to go. Now, Coach Johnson is now over there. He's coached at Kecoughtan. He's coached at Phoebus, and he's just doing the quarterbacks. That's all he's doing. I talked to him last week.
Lothar in the shotgun again with his 2 backs on either side. Quick snap, fake handoff. Going downfield, overthrew his receiver. Nice pass, and just off the fingertips.
That was one of those that you think maybe if he could lay out, he might have got it, but you know.
Like Jeremiah Owusu that time.
Looks like he's got a pretty good arm, Frank, and that was pretty well on the money.
The 6-footer. See over that line pretty well, just off the fingertips. So 2nd down and 10 for the Bruins from their own 21.
When you pass like that, it should loosen up that defense a little bit and help you with the run.
Pass it again. Flushed out of the pockets. Receiver wide open over the middle and couldn't get him. Had him. Just overthrew him by a couple feet.
He's had receivers open 3 different times and missed all 3 of them, Frank. He's just a little bit, maybe a little bit tight. Forcing
sure.
a little bit. Is this his first start?
Like Markel, it may be. It looks like Markel Holloman was the intended receiver. 3rd and 10 from the 21 for the Bruins. 8:52 left here in the first quarter. Game this week 4 of the Peninsula District season.
I missed last week. I was at Iowa.
Play a little football out there, I understand.
Yeah, occasionally.
Lothar back again, under pressure, and he's going to run it. He picks up about 5 yards. Not enough for the first down.
They're going to brings up a punting situation again for him.
Lakendra Lothar looking pretty good with the arm. Just overthrew his receivers by a few feet, but we'll see if he settles down here.
Yeah, and I think maybe he will once he gets the butterflies out of his system and everything. Right now, they're playing at their end of the field. Kecoughtan got the ball in Bethel's territory, so we'll see if that continues.
In punt formation. Low snap, dug out by the punter, and a nice kick.
No rush at all. This is a return on. Oh, nice tackle
nice
that
tackle
time.
there.
That number 21 for the Bruins made that tackle. That's Josh Hagens. He plays that defensive end, but he was there right. He took 2 steps and was hit.
A 2-yard return for the Warriors. 1st and 10 for Kecoughtan from their own 41. Neither team's picked up a first down yet.
Well, he hasn't handed the ball off to Fugate tonight, has he?
I think once. See what they have in the backfield here. Fugate, we know, can turn a game. They can open it up real quick.
He has got some speed and some moves, and there's a reverse or a counter.
Kind of inside handoff there to number 7 for the Warriors. That's Kecoughtan Nixon. Nixon, the 5'8" junior.
Picked up a couple yards. That was a misdirection. You'll see that a lot with that double wing that the Woodside Danny Dodson out there has run that since he's been there, and a lot of misdirection, but the Bruins stayed home.
2nd down and 8 for Kecoughtan. Savage with a back behind him.
We got a timeout. Something is not.
A little bit of confusion offensively for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Are they going to take a timeout?
And I guess that's Savage behind us, number 5. And Frank, I have trouble reading the numbers.
Well, the numbers are horrible. Both teams. DeQuandre Edwards is actually in the backfield now for the Warriors. At least he was before the timeout. Is our chairman of the Hampton School Board, Martha Mugler, who's just can relax a little bit. She spent the last 6 or 7 months tracking down a new superintendent, Jeff Smith, now in place with the city of Hampton. Congratulations to the school board for selecting Jeff Smith from up in West Point. He was a native up there and had been the superintendent, brought down here, started, I believe, August 1st. So I saw him out on the opening day of school. Real glad to have him here with us in Hampton. Well, congratulations to Martha and to all the board. That's a tough process.
Yes, it is.
Savage.
And everybody's got an opinion.
With Edwards behind him. Pass out to the left flat.
Good job. First down.
Nice run down there by number 7, Kecoughtan Nixon.
The Warriors number 7. Nixon.
In our overhead, our looking at dress announcer having trouble picking up the number from the far side of the field. Nixon out in the flat, breaks 1 tackle, picks up the first down. First down of the ball game for either team. First down and 10.
And they're inside the Bruins end of the field already, and they're on 46, 47.
47 of the Bruins.
That was a nice pass. Just nothing special about it, just like a bread and butter thing. It goes
ball
through
down.
But the ball came out, and I believe it bounced right back up into his arms.
I think in fact, the ball and the back bounced up in the hands of the Bruin lineman that caused the fumble.
Did you get that number? Was that
number? With yellow numbers, it is difficult. In fact, our monitor up here, which has a blue twinge to it, may be the best way to see the numbers for them.
I think that was Desmond Denny, number 3, who was the one that caused that fumble.
Well, Denny's the one that the coach talked about.
Yeah.
Coach Beverly was commending him. So 2nd down, about 12 for the Warriors, still inside Bruin territory. Savage.
You have to draw, and that's exactly what we heard down here at the other end, and did not fool anybody. The Bruins, they were ready for that draw.
Jason Fugate with a handoff there, nowhere to go. He loses another 5 yards.
That was number 21, Josh Higgins, and I didn't get the number of the second one.
Number
right there.
20.
20 was the other one. Okay.
That was Keno Mitchell.
You found that one quicker than I did.
It's kind of a word search up here on the roster. But we're able to see a little bit Savage now with third down and just about 18 yards.
Yeah, right close to 18.
The Warriors going the wrong way. Inside flip to number 1, Caleb Tucker.
And he just got not quite back to the original line of scrimmage, so that's going to bring up a punting situation. And if you looked last time when he punted the ball, he didn't hardly get up in the air, Frank. It was a low kick, and it basically was blown dead down on the 20-yard line.
A new punter back there, a different punter. This is Isaiah Sellers going to do the punting for the Warriors this time. Snap, he brings it in, and it's blocked. It's more punted off of the back end of a Bruin rusher.
I don't know that you can advance the ball. I guess you can advance it if you're the punting team, if the other team hits it.
Well, into the hands of the Warriors. It looked like number 22, it wasn't 22. Yeah, it was. Justin Burwell caught it.
That ball was high, took all the timing away from the punter. The best field position the Bruins had. They go into foam 45.
Well, the Sticks are having a little time catching up. Here they go. As they're going to move. First down and 10 for Lothar and the Bruins from his own 45. In the backfield with his two running mates. Pitch there to number 1 for Bethel.
And he went east and west and lost about 3 yards instead of going north and south.
That's Dwayne Hudson, who we added late in. It was added late to the starting lineup. Hudson, not much room for him. He drops a couple of yards. 2nd and 12 for Bethel.
Well, and you can see right now, this is defensive game. Both teams are very, very good defensively. And I really see the numbers good on there.
That's because the color is blue. We actually look blue, but the numbers stand out very well on our blue monitor. Timeout called, I believe, by the Bethel Bruins. Both teams spend a lot of time going the wrong way here in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Well, for a team that scores 30 points a game, the Warriors are off to an extremely slow start. Bethel doing what they've done a couple of times. Again, they opened up Monday night with 31-point win over the Warwick Raiders. So if you take that away, they were shut out 7-0 by Phoebus. And before that, the game before that was a 14-8 loss to Indian River.
Well, right now, I see both defenses are keying on, they know what the other team's going to do. Bethel, on the other hand, could have opened this game up because he had 3 receivers that I can remember that he overthrew that were wide open. I have not seen Savage miss an open receiver, but he hadn't passed but a couple times. And the one pass he did get picked up a first down. I think that might have been the initial first down.
So Lothar with a 2nd and 12 here after the timeout.
Got 2 wideouts at the top and at the bottom. We'll see what's happened. Looks like they're going to do some. Oh, nice draw.
Lothar's going to run it. He's got one guy to beat, and he beats him.
Picked up more than about 20 yards.
Oh, yeah, almost 22 yards for Lothar there on the run, the design run.
I tell you, I don't know if it was a design or not, but the defensive backs all went back and left an opening, and once he got through the line of scrimmage, there was nobody there to stop him.
I won't give Coach Beverly the benefit of the doubt and say it was a design run because he had everybody pushing to one side. The running back picked up the rusher very well.
Yeah, he did. There
so
was a guy coming off the end there.
1st and 10 from the 35 of the Warriors. That time I handed off to, that looks like number 22, DeAndre Gillis.
And it was, and he's picked up another first down. All of a sudden, they've got a little bouncing their step, and I'm talking about the Bruins.
But they're going to that right side. That's twice now they've gone to the right side, so maybe Beverly's seen something. First down and 10 from the 21 now.
He's got Alan Silver on that right side, the tackle and the guard, and of course you got Barker right there in the center. So he's got 240, 320, and 250.
Well, that time David Moody for the Warriors trapped inside. He had overrun the play, allowing the running back to get outside. He had to go left this time, right up behind the center. All the way in, 21-yard touchdown by Bethel's #1. That's Dwayne Hudson. So Hudson scores the first points of the ball game tonight. The Bruins move ahead 6-0 on a 21-yard rushing touchdown by Dwayne Hudson. Hudson gets the Bruins on the board. He's a 5'9", 170-pound junior. And now Hudson's going to turn around and kick the extra point himself. He's kind of a full. No, he's going to be the holder.
Well,
Hudson's going to hold.
Can't say the kicker's number.
Left-footed.
Left-footed, right.
You know that.
And it's blocked.
So the Warriors give up 6, but keep it 2-6. And the Bruins take the lead here, 6-0 with 3:05 left here in the first quarter on a beautiful Friday night here at Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia. Frank Edgar along with Bob Hintz and Brent Musgrove on stats. Here's a replay here, just right up the middle, following the blocking there. And nobody behind the safeties had moved to the side to cover the receivers.
Yeah, they did, and he just popped it right at the line of scrimmage. Got a good block right up the middle, so that Bruins center is doing a good job up there. And we're talking about Barker.
And we got a penalty called on the Kecoughtan Warriors. That's going to give the Bruins another shot at some points after. You know, now the NFL's changed the rule. I watched it last night. They were kicking from about the 25. The 15 is where they snap it from, so it's a 30-some yard or 30-some yard field goal
it's
this time.
A little bit of different look to it. And if they kicked it out of the end zone, they could get it on the 25.
Boy, all right. Well, here we got another chance for the Bruins. This is number 66 for Bethel. This is John Vasilikopoulos, the left footer, and he gets that one up and through.
And that's good. And that's a big penalty that happened right there.
That's your 6', 255-pound kicker right there. I should have let you try to read that name. Vasilikopoulos.
Vasilikopoulos, I got that.
They probably got a little bit of Greek Greek heritage in that young man. Yeah, just a little bit.
I would call him John V.
Yeah, John.
You know, remember Dickie V?
Oh yeah. Well, our good friends, the Bakubarakis family,
right.
they are known as
Absolutely.
the Greg and Tina B.
Look at
Nice
this
young fan here.
Young fans.
You know, if this was War Memorial Stadium, Henry Morgan would have them out on the field. They're welcome baseball baptism we see all summer long over at War Memorial Stadium here in Hampton.
And you've been doing that for a couple years now.
Doing a number of years. Another good year with the Peninsula Pilots. Very fortunate to be involved with that organization. Henry and Hank Morgan, very kind to allow me to do a little work over there. Well, the Kecoughtan band with a little bit of life here as their team trails 7-0 with 3:05 to go in the first quarter. Vasilikopoulos to kick off for the Bruins. Left footer puts it down right in the hands at the 15-yard line. That is number 13 for the Warriors.
And he takes it down to the 35.
Taquandre Edwards with a nice run back.
With
Kick
a
didn't get not a little altitude on the kick, and it makes it hard for the coverage team. But
well, it does, but they still did a good job. He could have kicked it out of bounds, and they'd have got it to 35, where they are right now. So let's see if the Bruins can hold the Warriors again. But you know, sometimes you've been in my house. Now it's my turn.
Fugate behind Savage now. We see what we expected from the Warriors. A lot of hands off to Jason Fugate. Fugate anxious to get the ball, and probably he fakes it.
Didn't get it. It was nice fake.
Well, he got hit pretty hard for the fake. Savage goes around the end, picks up a couple.
Young man from Bethel made the tackle and got hurt.
He tackled Fugate.
Yeah.
And the guy that was faking it, he got his helmet off now. It hurt him. That's Number 25 for Bethel. That looks like Isaiah Norris.
It looked like he may have got the wind knocked out of him.
Let's hope that all that is.
Yeah,
Fugate can knock the wind out of people. We've seen him lay some hits, and that time the ball faked to him.
Well, Brent was talking about in that it was the second round of the playoffs last year. We were over at that game, and that first play, his knee gave way, and that was, you could just see the air going out of the Warriors.
Warriors won one playoff game last year, got beat in the second.
Yeah,
so,
got beat in the second one.
And, you know, now we've got a few minutes to talk about Kecoughtan. Coach Coley in his 4th season, and each year he's improved. And it's, of course, what we expected out of Coach Coley.
Right. Well, he was over Phoebus. He was under Bill D. He got a lot of experience on how to win, how to motivate your kids to win, and that sort of thing. So when he got over as the head job, I knew that if he followed the philosophy that he got from Bill as far as how to get these young men prepared for the game, he was going to do well. And you're right. He's improved every year.
There's a play here. And I missed it again. It was on the left side.
Yeah, left side.
Kind of glancing blow. Norris is up now and walking off the field, and that's good. The fans going to give him a nice hand. I hope that was just the win, and it could have been. He's trying to, I think he's gasping for a little air.
Hey, when you're on the ground and you can't get your breath, you roll and you do anything to try to get some air in your lungs.
2nd and 7 for the Warriors here from their own 38. As Norris makes his way to the Bruins bench, as Desmond Savage looking, he's ready to go.
Well, he had 4 wideouts, and he's got 3 this time. They're all on the top of the field.
Pass over the middle is caught.
We have, okay, I'm looking at.
That's Keith Grandy, who we know is a good receiver. He was a very good receiver last year.
I was looking at the Warrior back in the back coming limping off right now. He was down holding his ankle. See if you can catch his number.
One of the linemen coming off here.
He was back helping. Looks like 64.
I'm going to say 54. Blake Brazier, the sophomore.
Okay.
6'2", 260 pounder is going to come over and get a little treatment on the sideline. Savage back in with Caleb
we got
Tucker.
A penalty here. What we got?
So 15 yards tacked on there for the pass interference. First down now is going to carry the ball across midfield.
And that's
ball moved back to the yard line. I find that interesting.
Well, he put 16 yards on 15.
Yeah.
48 of the Bruins.
That's the excuse he's going to use.
Savage, it looks like Fugate behind him. Savage back to pass again down the left sideline. Overthrown him by 5 yards, and he was open. But of course, you know, Peyton Manning has a tough time dropping a ball into that little basket there.
I was watching the back blocking that time for Savage, and they did a great job. Hit the guy. He tried to circle around from behind, and they stayed with him and kept him away from Savage. And Savage, even though he was getting pressure, he didn't feel it, I don't think. But he just overthrew the receiver, as you said, 5 yards.
Well, with Brazier out, obviously that makes it a little tougher for the Warriors. Anytime you got to replace a starter, Blake Brazier. Off now, Savage. That time handed it. Nope, pulled it out again.
Yeah.
And chased down there by the Bruins. That's number 21 for Bethel. That's Josh Hagans. He's played very well tonight defensively.
That's not the first time we've called his name.
I think it's the 3rd time we've actually spotted his number. It's thank goodness he's got a number. He must stand out. I should give him a Sharpie at halftime, tell him to outline the numbers.
Yeah.
But he's done very well from the far side that time, chased down Savage.
Well, both times it looked like he was going to give the ball to Fugate.
Not a lot in the middle.
Bruins are hitting Fugate. They're hitting him as soon as he gets or doesn't get the ball. And that young man never gave up. We got another timeout, second timeout, called by the Warriors, and still 1:40 left the first quarter.
7-0 Bethel here with the ball right at midfield. Warriors trying to make something happen offensively. Bruins seem to have found their stride in their last drive. 21's The 55-yard drive last time, capped off by the 21-yard run by Dwayne Hudson.
And the field goal, the extra point came on, missed the first one, got the second one.
Right. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad. To give a point for that.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you bat 33%, you get $1 million in the pros.
That's right. That's right. Wrong sport, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, Bruins starting to feel themselves a little bit here. They're showing a little energy.
And they're doing a little, they got a little bounce in their step. And I noticed
that's
that after
Isaiah Norris, who's trying to show he's still got a little bounce in his step. He's the one that got his bell rung out there, or got to knock the wind out of him. So he looks back and healthy, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, and I'm glad it was just the wind knocked out of him.
Savage. In the shotgun. He's going to throw it again.
Oh, got it wide open again.
That's Chris, Tyler Christ out there, and he was wide open.
And the both defensive backs went with the short receiver. That's why he was so open, Chris.
So now 4th down and 12 for the Warriors. They're going to have to punt the ball from midfield.
Well, last time they punt, they got a block.
Let's see, it's going to be Christ again to punt this time. So we're playing musical punters. This time Tyler Christ drops back in punting formation.
Oh, nice. Much better kick. He stayed in bounds.
And stayed in. Now down by the Warriors on the Bruins 19-yard line. And we'll see, watch the ball be pointed around the 19. Having not been a football official, I don't know the way you do it, but apparently you start near on the nearest yard line, and that's where they're going to put it.
I could give you a story that Brent and I watched the first game of the season. Bethel had 4th and 5. Penalty on Phoebus. 5-yard penalty. All right? He marked off 5 and then came back on it. They got a 4-yard penalty.
They didn't help them all with their
Not
4th.
a bit.
Lakendrell Lothar brings the Bruins up here. They lead 7-0 with 1:26 to go here in the first quarter at Darling Stadium. Warriors a little bit out of sync offensively, but defensively played pretty well until the last drive. Let's see if Lothar can get the Bruins back in the mode they were in when they last had the ball. Not that time.
Now they try to trap up the middle, and the Warriors were not fooled at all by that. That was number 22 with the ball that time, Andre Gillis.
I think
DeAndre Gillis.
I think it was Hudson. It's hard to tell. I mean,
it looked like 22.
It is.
You think
we're looking at a couple different. We got a screen here. Now that's number 1 next to Lothar. Lothar's surprised by the snap, a good one, but he hadn't called for it yet. And that time he's taken down at the 15. So Bethel a little bit out of sync there. The center snapped a good ball, but it surprised Lothar.
He wasn't looking for it, but at least he caught it.
3rd and 14 for the Bethel Bruins. Both teams seem a little out of sync here in week 4.
Yeah. You didn't watch the game last night with Hampton and Woodside. Good game. Both teams very, very well coached.
So the two teams have shown the best skill players we've seen so far this season. Again, sometimes it just takes teams a few more games to get on track.
Well, Woodside's the only Division VI team on the peninsula this year. They have to play all the Virginia Beach teams.
Lothar back. That time floats it into the hands of the Warriors. That looks like Jason Fugate, if I had to guess. And he runs it back in for a score.
The guy he was throwing to went deep. Looked like he was supposed to do a hook pattern or an out, and he was going deep, and he threw it to where he should have been. Well, that's what it looked like.
We recognize the players only by the silhouettes, and that was Jason Fugate. We recognized him doing that several times. If it hadn't been kickoffs or punt returns, it's been interception. That's a nice return by him. You'll see it here. Lothar overthrows his receiver, and Fugate flipped the coin and with his own teammate to pick that one off, and nobody's going to stop him.
Nope.
So 7-6 now, as the Bruins have contributed both touchdowns, one for themselves and one for the Warriors. And the kicker tells the holder, I'm not a left footer. So the holder switches around. And the kick is up. It looks like it's through. So the Kecoughtan Warriors on the interception by Jason Fugate tied up. That kick looks to me like it was number 72 that kicked it for Kecoughtan. So they're trying to pick the largest guys to kick for each team. That one, Leon Lowry, I believe, kicked the ball. It was just hard to see again.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the first quarter.
Well, 7-7 ball game here. It's exactly what we thought, a close game. Not exactly the sharpness we expected to see out of both teams, but both teams, I'm sure, disappointed, but glad to be in a tie ball game.
Well, now they've switched ends of the field. There is a breeze, and if they're coming out of the east when we were down there earlier, it doesn't look like it's that heavy.
Here's a replay here. Lothar back, plenty of time, just overthrows his receiver, and in the hands of Fugate, who has it bounce off his chest, able to haul it in, and then he hauls down the left sideline for the score. Jason Fugate's been an offensive powerhouse for Kecoughtan for a number of years. Terrific young player. I was told the other day he was over there watching Old Dominion play last weekend, and he'd be a good pickup for the Monarchs.
Yes, he would.
So the kickoff here by the Bruins, by the Warriors. Short kick, fielded on the 12 there. That's the Bruins number 23, and he's around the left end. There he goes, up over midfield. Runs into the kicker and bounced. The kicker bounced him right outside.
He did that. What a nice run back up. Play back to the 40, picked it up at the 12 and took it to the 40 of the Warriors.
Yeah, nice run back there. We're going to have a replay here. Here he goes around the left end.
Nice block right there.
And I believe this is the kicker coming out of the end, and the two of them separate ways there. I took the road less travel, as they say, and he traveled right over into the sideline. So a good return, good stop by the Warriors after he got by the first line of defense. And now Lothar back in action again, going the other way, going toward the east end of the field. Hand off that time. That's Bethel number 22. That looked like DeAndre Gillis that time with the carry up over the first down marker, down to just about to the 30.
Well, they went off the left side that time where Ricks and Vini are, and they opened up a nice hole for him right off tackle.
Well, the coaching staffs up here that we can hear down on either end, I think the Bethel coaching staff seemed very pleased with that formation. So 1st and 10 for Bethel from the Warriors 30. And a flag thrown. Sideline warning.
Sideline warning against the Warriors.
Sometimes I think that may have been because he's hearing a little bit in the sideline, from the sideline in his ear.
Well, that could be, but you got to be careful when you got to give them that space because they run and they're not looking where they run and they're watching the action on the field, and an official can get hurt pretty bad.
So no yardage marked off. That time Lothar out to his right. That's number 6 for the Bruins.
And he's going
Joshua Wusu. And you figure with two Owusus playing offense, one of them's going to score. That one was Joshua Wusu.
You think one of them would?
It's a senior. Well, they're terrific athletes. We talked about before the game. Now, we feel like the Wusus have been at Bethel High School for at least 10 years. It's almost the Phil Ford effect. You feel like he played at North Carolina for 20 years.
Yeah.
That time, Joshua Wusu, the senior, 6'2", 195-pounder, takes the toss from Lothar and carries it right in. They are strong young men. They play basketball as well.
Very good athletes.
Now this is Vasilikopoulos for the extra point, and the left footer kicks it up and through. John Vieg has his second extra point, and the Bruins move ahead 14-7. A very quick strike here by the Bethel Bruins, and probably caught Kecoughtan off guard.
52 seconds. 52 seconds because it was 12 minutes to go, and they come down, got the ball, and just went down.
Well, the good return
yes, that
helped. Time contributed a great deal. That was Justin Davis on that good return.
Got a
So, we got-
nice crowd on both sides.
Well, it's a gorgeous night to be outside,
Man,
whether you're
it
here at a football game or not. Beautiful sunset. I'm sure our friend Jerry Gammon, the photographer up in Newport News, is probably standing on the Lions Bridge taking a few more shots. You'll see Jerry's work on Facebook and on in the Daily Press. 52-yard, 30-yard pass there to Owusu. And now they're lining up for the kickoff. Looks like Vasikalopoulos again with the kickoff.
For the Warriors to receive.
You know, with the new rules going in effect with the kicking team has to be within 5 yards of the ball.
Right, and you can't have less than 4 on one side. You got to have at least 4. You can't fill up the other side like they used to on the onside kicks. Can't do that.
So here we go for the kickoff for the Bruins. That one's back towards the 15-yard line, fielded by the Warriors there, right up the middle. Into the arms, the waiting arms of the Bruin kick coverage team to the 30-yard line.
And one of the numbers I pick up is number 20 for the Bruins, and that's Mitchell, who's a defensive tackle.
And Cameron Stevenson, the 5'9", 165-pound sophomore for the Warriors, caught the return.
Mitchell was 5'9", so it was 5'9" against 5'9".
Good matchup there, and they stopped each other at the 30. First down and 10 for Desmond Savage and the Warriors. Savage quickly out to his right. No room for the receiver that time.
Well, the defensive man just shot the area before the blocker. You got a blocker out there, and he's supposed to pick that man up. But great job defensive that time. I didn't see who it was.
Keith
but it
Grandy
like
with the catch.
Was that number 1, I believe, for the Bruins? And that's Dwayne Hudson. They brought him in, starting on offense now, but he looks like he's playing some defense, if that's who it is.
So second down and 10 for Desmond Savage and the Kecoughtan Warriors. Hand off to the right, fumble. Right on the 20-yard line. It looks like Bethel may have it.
Yep, they do.
Now salted. It was Fugate with the fumble. Comes off his check, really not in, didn't come into his possession very well.
No.
Never really had the handle on it.
And again, what I talked to you about earlier, the timing. That if you don't work with that first unit, and you watch right here, he just looked like he never got a hold of the ball.
Well,
it was gone.
We mentioned in the pregame that Savage has missed a few games or parts of a few games with an injury. So he hadn't had the number of reps he normally would have had.
And that affects the timing.
Lothar now got his Bruins 1st and 10 from the Warrior 30. Another chance for the Bethel quarterback. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And Lothar this time running for his life down the left side.
And that's a design run that time, but there was nothing there. The Warriors were ready for it. They strung him out. There was nowhere for him to go but down.
You may want to go back to the design on that one. So second, it looks to be about a yard loss that time. So 2nd and 11 for Bethel.
Right now, Bruins looking offensively much stronger than the Warriors. They've scored both of their touchdowns on offense, but the Bruins have got it on defense. We have a timeout.
They got a player down on the far side,
Okay.
it looks like. One of the linemen for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Well, he's going to have to come out. If they stop, they make him come out. The same thing as if they lose their helmet. They have to come
Well,
out.
he's holding that right hand, right wrist.
And who is?
That's
Can you
Kecoughtan's
see?
number 60. That's Devin Olivas. Olivas, 6'1", 305-pounder, so he's easy to spot out there. Looks like he's got a little bit of a little wrist problem. Hopefully not a broken wrist. When you put 305 pounds on a hand, though,
If you're going down and you put that hand out there, or if somebody falls on you.
now the trainer's going to treat him on the sideline, right? Not have him sit down. So maybe hopefully it's something she can help massage out. No room that time for the Bethel running back. He's greeted in the backfield.
There was looked like a gang. Somebody opened up the door for let people in because the 3 Bruins right back there to meet him. I mean, 3 Warriors right in the backfield.
DeAndre Gillis with the carry. He lost a yard. So Bethel moving backwards a yard at a time. 3rd down and 12.
Look like we're going to see a passing situation here with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Not really a surprise, though, is it?
No.
3 right, 1 left for Lothar. And he is going to lose a couple yards.
He had no time to even look for a receiver. Bruins brought everybody.
So 4th down, in that set of downs, Bethel lost 5 yards in 3 plays. Be interesting to see if they go for it or not.
Yeah, this is interesting. Your ball's on a 35. If you punt it, it goes in the end zone. You picked up 15 yards.
Well, back goes the punter for the Bruins.
Now
and they're going to call timeout and talk it over.
I think maybe the coaches up here are saying, listen, we're not going to lose that much. Go take the path. Make sure you get protection for the quarterback, because that's what you got to have. You got to have time to watch your receivers going down the field.
So with 8:36 left here in the second quarter, the Bethel Bruins lead the favored Kecoughtan Warriors 14-7. Bob, this has been an interesting game so far.
Well,
not a lot of offense from Kecoughtan.
Right, and that's surprising. Fugate had 263 yards rushing in the first 3 ball games, and I don't know what he's got tonight. I don't know if Brent's got anything, but he probably hasn't got any more than 10 yards, if he's got that much.
Brent's got 2 pairs of glasses and some binoculars trying to see the numbers. 6 yards? Minus 6 yards passing.
Let's go, D!
No, I'm Fugate.
Or Fugate, oh.
Yeah.
Where you at, go?
But
Where
he's,
you at, go?
Here, use that yellow pad. We'll use that. We watched, 4th, and they're going to go for it. So that your net 15 did mean something to him. Coach Beverly going to go for it. He's got a little time here down the sideline again. That ball just out of the reach of the receiver. A lot of entanglement down the left sideline.
But I don't think anybody got an advantage, and that's what you're looking for. Is the guy going to reach out and push off and get a little more room?
I think if you look at it carefully, Bob, the receiver actually moved early, so it kind of all balanced out that time.
Yeah.
He was way off the line.
You think he left before the snap?
I think he certainly flinched before the snap, but no call. So it all levels out. Kecoughtan ball, 1st down and 10 from their 35-yard line.
1st and 10 Warriors.
Of all these receivers, Tyler Christ is the only one that's got over 100 yards receiving this in the first 3 ball games.
The Bethel line is just owning the line of scrimmage. That time, that looked like running back number 13 for Kecoughtan, DeQuandre Edwards. And Edwards, no place for the sophomore to go. He's wrapped up. They lose a yard, 2nd and 11.
And he just a sophomore, 185, 5'11".
A few more handoffs like that, he'll age rapidly, be a senior by the 3rd quarter. No room for him. Savage brings him to the line. Got 2 backs in there now trying to give him some time to pass.
One in motion. They're going to give it to Fugate.
Big man up over the 40. So a pickup there of about 7. And now 3rd down and 5 with 7:28 clock running here in the second quarter. Kecoughtan in the hole by 7.
Well, they've run that man in motion out of the backfield trying to get that linebacker to move and open up a spot for Fugate to pop through the line of scrimmage and not have anybody until he gets to the secondary.
Right in front of us now from the Warrior 40. Savage with quick release, thank goodness. That one off the hands of the receiver, number 40 for the Warriors. Jonathan Melvin had it go off his hands, but Savage had no choice but to throw it when he could because he had Bruins right in his face. 4th down now and 5 for Kecoughtan. They're going to have to punt again. Tyler Crisp back in formation. Here's a replay, Bob.
And who was that? The
Melvin was the intended receiver off the tips of his fingertips there. No completions. But Crisp back to punt on his own 26. He gets a nice kick away this time. Number 23 for the Bruins has it. Flag thrown already. And he is smashed back.
Oh, my goodness.
In forward motion. He was practically picked up and run into the end zone. Poor young man.
Not only a great punt, but a great on the punt coverage team.
Well, there's a flag very early in the receiving side. Justin Davis had the honor of being picked up and taken back 5 years and crushed. And it's all for naught, as the penalty is going to carry the ball back even further, I believe. Got a hold
by the Bruins, so
after the punt, so it's not going to do any help for the Warriors except move the Bruins back. Lothar squad's ready to go. I tell you, you get a little bit of a lead here for Bethel, and they're showing some enthusiasm on offense.
Yeah.
Maybe Brent can give us how many total yards that the Bruins have offensively now. Do you have? Because they've moved the ball a couple of drives. Of course, short field one time here in the second quarter, a little longer drive in the first. Now it's going to go the other way. I'm a little confused when you point the penalty on Bethel and move it towards Warriors. I'm sure Coach Coley's that he's got his hands out in the I question that call motion. Now it goes back again. This is what we call the accordion penalty here.
Is that something like the Lady of Spain?
And that was in and out there. I guess they want to be sure they measure it precisely.
Well, that puts the ball back. It looks like at about the 11-yard line.
Coach Beverly trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, he did signal it against the Bruins initially.
It was absolutely penalty against the Bruins. Why it went forward and then back, I don't know, but it did.
Maybe he needs the exercise.
Well, eventually we're going to have football played here at Darling. The ball will be put down just about on the 10. I had to guess, Bob, precisely on the 10. And it's being thrown out.
No.
It's on the 11. It's going to be spotted on the
11.
Bruin 11.
Well, the ball they're changing, that ball belongs to the Warriors, as each team has its own balls, so they change with possession.
But if it keeps going like this, Kecoughtan's going to take its ball and go home.
Well, we got a conference out there, and the guy over here that's got the ball, he doesn't even want to be in on the conference. I don't exactly know what's going on, but maybe they'll make a decision and we'll get on with the game.
Bethel with 78 yards total offense so far. Thank you, Brent. 48 yards on the ground, 30 yards in the air. And remember that all points are accounted for by Lothar, and he either hands it off or he runs it. But I guess the Fugit had one.
Now the ball's on the 16 or 17.
Well, they picked up 5 yards there.
I think they picked up 6 yards.
All right.
Because it was on 11, now it's on the.
Well, Bethel is smart. They
17.
wait another 20 seconds, see if they get a few more. First down on the 17.
As a lawyer, how would you handle that?
I'd handle that with a lengthy brief. That takes some explanation. All right. So first down, we do know it's Bethel ball. We got that covered.
And that's the only thing we're for sure
got
at. Maybe we'll hear it.
Here we go.
Okay, there was no penalty, so he's back from where he was tackled.
So the yellow flag we saw thrown before the ball was caught.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we don't know. Well, we'll let them sort it out. But we know it is first down and 10 for the Bruins from their own 17-yard line. Lothar back to accept the snap. He throws it over to the right. Joshua Wusu up over the 20, now back past the 20. They're going to give him up his forward progress up to about the 23 with a Wusu. Second in about 4 yards of the Wusu's.
He picked up a good yardage.
Picked up 6, yeah.
It's that little, they call that a little slip screen. They get it out.
Great shot. Is that Steve Fryer's camera work? My goodness, that's a good shot right there.
That is Steve.
Tackled by committee. Couldn't get him down. The Wusu brothers are hard to get to the ground. No question about that. But
and we got somebody else on the sideline, too, now, tonight. We got Ron
Baton. That's right. Late handoff there to number 1 of the Bruins.
And
That's Dwayne Hudson, who probably didn't appreciate even having kept the ball.
Well, he got back to the line of scrimmage, actually, to give him a yard.
So Hudson picks up 1. Third and about long 3 for the Bethel Bruins. Lothar getting a little more comfortable with each series. Young man's done a nice job. So Luther brings him up. Here's a snap. Luther looking for somebody. All he sees is green shirts downfield. Now he throws it long. And the receiver did a nice job, but it's just out of bounds. I saw him stop his feet and then dive. That was a real nice attempt.
Yes, it was.
But too far out of bounds. Incomplete pass. 4th down and 3 now for the Bruins, and they're going to punt the ball.
We're talking about our crew. We talk about Steve Fry and Ron Baton on the side. We've got Susan Bowers and Wube Gabre up here on the cameras on the up in the stands.
Randy Magoli has helped us out with the mics tonight.
Yeah, but he's doing the engineer stuff. We've got Chris Campbell's doing I'm assuming the slow motion instant replay. I think Renee Camden is here doing camera control, and we got a flag, but we got Andy
Foley, of course, down there looking right now for the list of our crew rapidly.
If we miss anybody, Andy will let us know.
You got Matt Buttwalker. I should know you missed my nephew.
Yeah, and good friend of mine, his dad, David Buckwalter, is Matt Buckwalter down. I knew I missed somebody.
David, of course, down on the beaches of the west coast of Florida tonight, looking at a beautiful sunset with his beautiful wife, Susan Darden, my sister-in-law. Low snap, fielded well by the punter. High punt, a little short, and it's going to bounce the Bruins' way.
Oh, that was a good punt from where he was kicking that ball. Goes blown dead at the 35.
So Desmond Savage going to go to work from his own 35 here with 4 minutes, 57 seconds left in the second quarter. We thought it might be a long game with a lot of passes. It stops the clock, and it's been that way here. Haven't seen a lot of completions yet, but we've seen some passes. So 1st and 10 for Desmond Savage. Jeff Mordica there, the principal at Kecoughtan.
Jeff Mordica.
Low snap, fielded by Savage. No choice but to throw it. He does.
He
does. A little bit of a screen pass to Fugate. Fugate up to the 40. They're going to give him to the 40, a 5-yard pickup. 2nd and 5.
That was a little flap screen coming from the defensive end. Has to maintain on that thing, and he was blocked. There was a lot of Warriors leading that Fugate, and I'm surprised he only picked up 5.
Well, Fugate is a wound spring, Bob, as you know, and he is one of these guys, if you give him just a little bit of an opening, he's gone, and we've seen it on the interception already. 2nd now and 5 for Savage. Fugate comes to the left, lots of motion.
We had illegal procedure against the Warriors, and that'll take them back, so it'll be a 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 5. And that's what will give coaches gray hairs quicker than anything else.
Well, they give up the 5 they just got. Now it's 2nd and 10. Savage comes over with Fugate. Fugate gets the play from Alonzo Coley, and they go back to the huddle.
They're looking for a draw here, so we'll see what happens.
Fugate right there next to his quarterback, Desmond Savage. 2nd and 10. Low snap, fielded again by Savage, and he's hit from behind and dropped.
I'm going to tell you, it was a great job that time by the defensive end here on the right defensive end for the Bruins, and that is either Hagens or Norris, and I couldn't get the number, but he went right around the blocker.
Well, if I had to guess, it'd be Hagens, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Again, but we do know it's 3rd down and about 17 for the Kecoughtan Warriors, who once again are going the wrong direction. The penalty took away their gain of 5 yards on 1st down. The loss in the backfield now dropped them further back. Still some confusion in the backfield. Number 1, Caleb Tucker moves behind Savage. He's there to block because Savage has no time, but he gets the pass away and it's dropped by Tucker. So Savage takes a mighty blow to the chest. He's down on one knee at the 10-yard line. Meanwhile, his pass is dropped by Tucker, who, despite the crazy look of that play, had some open field.
Yes,
Savage is going to come off.
Had some blockers in front of him. We will pick a player of the game from both of these teams tonight. They will get a shirt. Shirt comes from Tidewater
Savage.
Team Sport, and then you can see him getting level there.
Level right rib high.
David Chubb and Terry McNamara, up there at Tidewater Team Sports, and we always appreciate their helping us recognize the player of the game.
There's flags and towels on the field. So here's the punt gets away by Chris. There's clearly motion on the line by one team, plus the flag dropped back here at the 40.
Yeah, and I'm not sure receiver. If it might have been too many men on the field or what, but there were.
I think Bethel clearly had too many men on the field because we saw one guy trying to run off for the snap. He was 20 yards still on the field. So we'll see. It's not going to give the Warriors a first down, but it may give them a chance to punt it better. Officials still, of course, early in their year.
Well, this is a fourth game, and that's not their fourth game. They've done other games. They do games at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they do them at Saturdays. They do them Fridays. So these guys have worked more than 4 games.
We'll see here as they talk it over about at midfield. I can't believe it. I didn't get a count, but it sure looked like 12 men on the field for the Bruins. That, I believe, is the flag we see at the 40. And maybe this gives Chris another chance to punt it, maybe go a little deeper. 3:27 to go here in the second quarter. We're at Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia. Bob Hens, Frank Edgar with Brent Musgrove here in the booth on a gorgeous night when we could be sitting outside to be even more comfortable.
Oh, it would be nice. Cool breeze out there. Temperatures drop.
It was here's a replay. Chris gets the ball away, and then he's taken down, tripped down. So let's see if there could be 2 flags. There is one back here on the 35, and there's one at the 40 of the Bruins. Lots of pointing, not enough movement.
The offsetting. Replay the down.
They're both penalties, I believe, are on the Bruins.
Well, if that's running in the kicker, it's only 5 yards.
Well, if we had a commercial, Bob, that's where we could run it. Well, folks, if you want to provide a commercial.
I was trying to do that with Tidewater Team Sports.
Well, Tidewater Team Sports has been such a great supporter of us for so many years.
Since the 90s. David Chubb has been involved with it.
David didn't want you to reveal how old he is, though. Please don't.
Well,
David and Terry have done a nice job out there.
They've done a great job since they've opened their business.
So we're apparently having a full-blown conference here about what Coach Coley would like to do. He seems to have the call.
Illegal participation on the defense, 15-yard penalty, repeat 4th down.
Wow. Illegal participation, 15-yard penalty.
I don't understand that. I didn't think that was a 15-yarder.
Isn't that? I thought that was a 12-man on the field, but apparently that's been ratcheted up. There must have been a rash of problems with that. So the ball's going to come up. I still don't think they got a first down.
No, they don't. They're still 2 yards short, but they're still going to punt.
So Chris back in punting formation after that lengthy discussion. Still 3:27 to go because the clock was stopped during that discussion. Second period, 14-7 Bethel here. And Chris in punting position for the Warriors. High floating snap. That time he gets away and he does not get hit. And it's a good punch. Going to get a good bounce. Almost caught the side of the Bethel return man, who's going to hear from his coach on Monday.
You talk about a difference in field position.
That's about a 30-yard penalty.
Yeah.
As it all nets out. 1st and 10 for LaKendra Lothar and his Bethel Bruin offense.
Last time there was Bethel had their back at their own goal. They threw an interception. That's the time the Kecoughtan got back in the game, tied the game at that point.
Well, it's really the only life we've seen from the Warriors here in the first half was that interception. We saw Fugate do what he does best.
Hit
So
the ball and nobody catch it.
I'm sure he is looking for another opportunity here as he plays in the backfield for the Warriors. First down and 10 for Lothar at his own goal line. Handoff to the right side. Good tackle out there, but the running back picks up about 5. That's number 22 for Bethel, DeAndre Gillis. Gillis probably feeling pretty good, Bob. He actually had some room that time.
He was hit good. I like to see those low tackles. Watch it coming right at you, right here, and watch the defensive man just take his legs right out from under him.
That's Brady Allen and Daquan Silver on the right. Good blocking.
And it looked like number 4 for the Warriors making that tackle.
Second and 5. Lothar this time to the left to Hudson. And he stopped in the backfield. Could not get his wheels going. Dwayne Hudson, the junior.
Actually, that was number 42, Webb, making that stop, not 4.
Third down and 9 for the Bethel Bruins. This is where the passing situation comes in. Keith Grandy back here for the Warriors in the backfield, as well as number 1, Caleb Tucker in the safety spots. Looking for a chance to try to tie this game up. Lothar trying to get a first down and get out of this half with a 7-point lead. This time he's going to take it himself. Good block on the left side out there by the receiver. Gives Lothar the first down.
Yep. Nice spin. But he did get a great block. Did you see who that was?
I didn't, but it was a great block. He held him just long enough to give Lothar the room. He picks up about 10 yards on the run. First down for the Bruins. Here's the replay. Let's see if we can pick up the number there on the left side.
Well, what they did, I was wondering that the chain gang hadn't moved.
They're waiting to see where the ball's set. Looks like it's on the 17-yard line of the Bethel Bruins. Lothar, the running back to his left, who he hands the ball to, and he's greeted by the Kecoughtan defense. Taken down at the 16. They may give him back to the yard line of scrimmage, Bob. It's hard to tell.
Well, we got less than a minute and a half to go, and Bruins would just like to have this clock run out without them having to putt or anything.
I'm not so sure, Bob, if Kecoughtan wouldn't like to go ahead and run this out and get in the locker room and see where they've been misfiring. So second down now, 10 yards to go. Lothar waiting for the snap. Time hands it off the right side, right behind the right guard. That's Brady Allen and Daquan Silver again on the right side doing a nice job. A few yards there.
And I'm surprised that Kecoughtan has not called a timeout, stopped the clock, because the Bruins, they basically can take a 5-yard penalty here, run the ball, and it'd be.
I think they just want to get in the locker room, Bob. I had to guess they want to get back and kind of look see what's going on, because they have not had a chance to break Jason Fugate out at all. Third down now and 8 for Lothar and the Bruins. He showed pass, now he's going to run into the Kecoughtan defense. Taken down, he loses a couple of yards. Again, though, not harm to Bethel.
No, because, well, they did call a timeout with 9.4 seconds to go. Waited a little while before making that call. Maybe they're going to go for the block. Why not?
Well, they give it a shot. So 4th and 11 for Bethel. Timeout called by the Warriors their last time out of the half. 14-7 Bethel lead here.
And
head to halftime.
I see Coley down there talking to the side judge. He's saying, hey, there should be more than 9.4 seconds out. I called timeout before that, but it wasn't signaled up here until it was 9.4 seconds. So we'll see. I don't think he's going to win his argument.
No, I don't think he will either. And there have been several in this first half. But this one looks like it'll be cut off pretty quick. So the punter for the Bruins standing in his own goal line. Oh, he did get he got a 1.6 seconds added on.
Yeah, he did.
So now they're going to change punters. Yeah, they don't have a punter. So 64 yards on the ground for Bethel. 37 yards through the air for Bethel. Kecoughtan probably doesn't have many. I know they don't have as many as that. Timeout called by Bethel. Why leave them on the board? Can't use them after halftime.
Well, you can't take them on the bus with you.
That's right. So remains 11 seconds to go now here in the first half. Well, been an interesting first half. Bethel's got to be pleased. Again, they've had trouble scoring. They've averaged 13 points a game. They got 14 on the board.
And you know that they have not scored any points to amount to anything until they won against Warwick.
Right.
But you know, sometimes it just takes one thing to jumpstart your team. Say, hey, you know, we can score some points.
Yeah, with Lothar behind the center, he's done a nice job. Considering he like Desmond Savage of the Warriors, they catch the ball about a half second before they catch a hit from the opposing defense.
Well, and he's had probably more open receivers that he's missed tonight, Lothar has, than Savage.
The punter back in punting formation again, right about his own line, his own goal line. That's number 25 for the Bruins. That's Isaiah Norris is going to do the punting. Norris with a low snap fields it cleanly and gets the kick away. And they roughed Norris. Poor Norris has been roughed all night. That time roughed as the punter. That ball's going to come back. Norris is a lineman that went off getting his breath knocked out of him. That time he got his legs taken out, but it's going to give his team 15 yards, I think.
Yeah, but and they're not going to do anything 0.5 seconds.
They'll have another conference.
I know both of these teams want to get in the locker room and start talking a little strategy and give these young guys a break and give them some water and let them sit down and rest a bit. But
so, Bob, what do you think about the defenses of both squads? I mean, we've seen Kecoughtan score. Their defense is the only thing that's shown any life.
They've scored any points tonight. I was impressed with Bethel's defense before, but tonight against Fugate, who was a great runner, and against Savage, who is a great passer.
9 yards on the ground for Kecoughtan, 21 yards in the air.
30 total yards. That's unbelievable.
They have more yards on the interception than they have offensively.
Good point.
Bethel has contributed all 3 touchdowns. They threw one in the hands of Fugate and they scored 2 themselves. 14-7 Bethel. We got half a second left. Now, in comes the last lineman for Bethel. And they're going to huddle around Lothar, and for once he's not going to get hit. And he takes the knee, and that does it for the half. So the Bethel Bruins carry a 14-7 lead over the Kecoughtan Warriors. We go into halftime. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second half of action here on LSC 48. Welcome back to Darling Stadium here. We head into the second half, and it's a good ball game between the Bethel Bruins and the Kecoughtan Warriors. Frank Edgar with you with Bob Hentz and Brent Musgrove up here in the booth. We got a 14-7 lead by the Bruins, Bob. What do you think?
I think right now the Bruins are surprising everybody because their defense was so good, but they've scored the only offensive points tonight, 14.
Yeah, the game in general has been offensive to watch at times, but the Bethel Bruins have done. They actually have contributed all 3 touchdowns because the sole touchdown by the Warriors is a pick 6 by Jason Fugate off a pass from Lakendra Lothar. So 14-7 Bethel. A little confusion for week 4 of 2 good programs.
Yeah, and it really has been a confusing game. And not only to us, but to the officials. We have trouble seeing the numbers, but we got a few highlights.
We got some highlights here. Let's see what we got.
Oh, yeah, we good. We're good? Okay.
Here we go. The first play, it's a good pass in the first quarter. Desmond Savage finally finds a receiver out there to Karan Nixon. Next one, the handoff to Fugate, and he's met right there.
Two of the Bethel Bruins,
the
number
Bethel
20 and
Bruins.
21.
Here's Gillis around the right side. And a nice run by the young man for Bethel. And here's a touchdown run. That's Dwayne Hudson up the middle. 21-yard touchdown run here. Capped off by a little celebration with one of his teammates, and it crushes him to the ground. Hudson did recover.
I love that.
Here's the pack. Lothar drops back for the Bruins, throws it over there, and the only receiver able to get it is Jason Fugate for Kecoughtan. He runs it in for the only touchdown for the Warriors so far in this ball game. Good run back here by number 23 for Bethel.
And that really jump-started this drive for them.
It did, and it led to their second touchdown. Justin Davis with a good run back. And then throw over here to Joshua Owusu. The senior, the older of the two Owusu brothers, takes it in. Nice pass by Lothar.
Did a great job of splitting two defenders.
The handoff here is fumbled by Fugate. He never had possession of the ball. That's the turnover by the Bethel Bruins. I believe each team with one turnover in the first half, one interception. And that's the play that may come back and haunt Kecoughtan. That was where the screen play where Savage got caught right in the rib cage. Good tackle that time on the running back, Gillis. So an interesting first half.
And that was Gandy making the tackle. He's been kind of a standout for the defense.
He has been. Normally a receiver, and he has not gotten a lot of receptions here. I don't think he has one in the game. Here we got some statistics for you from the first half. Despite the fact there wasn't a lot of offense, we do have statistics. 7 first downs for the Bruins, 4 for the Warriors, 64 rushing yards against 8 for the Warriors. Who would have said Jason Fugate, a backfield with him in it, only would get 8 yards?
Yeah.
2 for 9 is Lothar. 5 for 11 is Savage, though he did take the hit to the ribs there in his last completion. 37 yards for Lothar, 24 for Savage. 111 total yards, leading to 14 points for the Bruins, only 32 for the Kecoughtan Warriors, a team that came in averaging 30 points a game. 1 interception, 2 fumbles, 1 interception for the Bruins, 2 for the Warriors. And then we've had a few penalties, most of which required lengthy explanation, but hopefully here in the second half we'll see less penalties and more offense. We're about ready to go here.
The Warriors got the ball, but they deferred the second half so that they could have offense the second half. And I know you got some new eyes over there.
I do. Between reading glass and binocular, we'll try to pick him up here. Ball fielded at the 20 for the Warriors, and he's got some room there. Good run back. So Kecoughtan gets exactly what it wants here to start the second half.
They need to get something positive going, and they need to go ahead and get a first down and get something moving.
That was Keith Grandy we mentioned right there before he got it, running the ball back. So Desmond Savage out, looks okay. He did take a shot to the ribs there at the end of the first half, but he looks all right. First down and 10 for Kecoughtan. This is their deepest starting position, I think, of the game, Bob.
And what we have to see now is what adjustments did the coaches make? Because Kecoughtan didn't come out until very, very late. We got a flag right off the bat, and it looks like the illegal procedure right off the bat for the Warriors. So all of a sudden you're shooting yourself in the foot. You now, instead of 1st and 10, you got a 1st and 15.
Called on the running back, Daquandre Edwards, who got about a 4-yard head start there on the snap. First down and 15 now for Desmond Savage, who comes over and gets his play. Number 11 there in the green. He comes out to tell his teammates what they got planned here for the 1st and 15. Line for Bethel has played very well defensively tonight. Low snap fielded by Savage, inside handoff, number 7.
That's actually a forward pass, because if he drops it, it's incompleted pass. It's just a little shuffle pass going into the back, shooting into the line. It's like handing it off, except it's a forward pass.
And Karan Nixon, the ball carrier for the Warriors, up over the 45 of the Bruins, down to the 44, second and about 8. Nixon has had the first good yard gain for the Warriors in the first half. Let's see if they go back to him here in the second half.
And that's Fugate.
No, that's number 13.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hard to tell as Daquandre Edwards gets the carry. down towards close to the first down.
And he's just a sophomore.
13, Edwards.
Right,
So
just a sophomore.
And he's carried the ball a couple times tonight. Allowing Fugate again, who's the talented running back, to get out and hopefully catch a pass. 3rd and 1 here for Desmond Savage and the Warriors. Got 3 to the right. Hand off that time to DeQuandre Edwards. He's up over the first down marker, down to about the 36.
Let's go give him a first down. In the first half, with 3:05 to go in the first quarter, Bethel made their first touchdown with Hudson. With nothing left in the first quarter, Kecoughtan got that interception for the pick 6. And with 11:08 in the second quarter, Bethel with Owasso made a nice run and scored, and then it makes it 14-7 right now. We have another injured player. Do you see who that is, Frank?
Yeah, number 75, according to Brent. That's Samaj Harris, 6'3", 315. So Harris down for the Warriors. Both trainers out to take a look at the young man.
3-2-1-6-7-7 for the 50-50
He's moving his leg. That's a good sign.
50-50 raffle.
Don't exactly know what's happening. Of course, we have a good crew here. Both team of the trainer. Now Harris sitting up.
While we got a minute here, I do want to talk about a player of the game. We will pick a player of the game from each one of these two teams tonight, and that player will get a shirt from Tidewater Team Sports, located out in Oyster Point, Newport News. David Chubb and Terry McLemore are owners out there, and David Chubb has been helping us with recognized player of the game since the 90s. And we do appreciate all his effort and everything, and I just want to make sure that you understand, if you need any screen printing, embroidering, any kind of athletic apparel, give them a call. Going out there to Tidewater Team Sports.
Very good. Harris gets a hand off the field. Looks it's a left knee or ankle. Big man's going to take a seat on the bench.
Well, he can't put any weight on it.
1st and 10 for Desmond Savage and Kecoughtan. From their own 30, or for the Bruins 35. Hand off that time. That's Fugate up over the middle. He gets a couple yards there. 2nd down in about 8 for the Warriors.
That's Jordan Hill, number 8, one of the linebackers, making the initial hit that time.
In comes Caleb Tucker. Yeah, but the best thing to do is just be able to see. The yellow numbers on a white field in bright lights is almost impossible. 2nd and 8 here. Savage with 2 backs. Fugate on his right. Tucker in motion. Handoff is to Fugate.
And they're moving that man in motion to get that linebacker to move a little bit, and it seemed to be working because they're picking up 4 and 5 yards at a time. Looks like to me that they want to establish the running game, and this is probably what Coach Coley was talking about at halftime. They didn't come out until it was about 15 seconds to go before the start of the second half.
Well, Fugate takes it down inside the Bruin 32. 3rd and about 3 for Kecoughtan. Savage with Fugate on his left. Tucker again breaks out to the right. And the throw goes to Tucker out to the right. It's way over his head.
And what was surprising about that, I don't know if you picked it up, there were 2 defenses out there. You didn't see defensive backs. 2 receivers put the man in motion. Nobody went with him. He was wide open. Overthrew him.
Overthrew him by about 5 yards. He's not been sharp tonight. Again, he didn't get a lot of reps in the early part of the season with the injury.
And he's going to get better as he gets comfortable
Terrific
going back
athlete.
again, yes.
So Savage is going to take him out for a 4th down play. He's got Fugate behind him. Randy far right.
4th down, and they're going for
Tucker
it.
left. There's Fugate.
And he got it.
So Fugate up over the 25, down to about the 24. 1st down, Kecoughtan. Savage leading a long drive here to start the 3rd quarter. Got inside just about the 23-yard line. 1st and 10, Kecoughtan. Savage doing the old Ronald Curry run to the sideline and get to play every time.
Well, he's not the only one that does that. All the coaches are doing that.
Savage now with Fugate behind him. Jason waits. And he's going to stay in. Long throw down the field, over the hands, out of the end zone. Incomplete pass
And he
to Caleb Tucker, number 1.
Wide open. Wide open.
So Tucker overthrown. It's the first time we see Savage really have a little time to.
Well, he's calling
ball
number
down.
4. Grandy is the receiver.
Here's
And you
the
said
throw.
it was number 1.
Number 1, Caleb Tucker. He went over the middle. Was it Grandy? It was Grandy.
Grandy, yes.
And that's the one we thought he should go to more often.
Absolutely.
So Grandy breaks out Rod White with Tyler Christ. Caleb Tucker comes left. Fugate in the backfield with Savage. 2nd down and 10 for the Warriors. Trying to tie this ball game up. Fugate up the middle, and then he goes to the left. And he's brought down hard over there. Number 6 for Bethel.
And
Who
number
then
6
pushes him.
And he pushed him and got a penalty.
So an expensive bit of anger there.
That was number 7, wasn't it?
Joshua Wusu, I think, picked up the penalty. Joshua Wusu wears 6. Jeremiah Wusu wears 9.
Well,
You're gonna see the-
Ramondo Walker was right there, so I'm not too sure it wasn't him. Number 7.
Yeah, look at it again here. As the officials discuss it, we barely have time. They're going to confer now. Here's the replay. You'll see Fugate come this way. And then that's a Wusu on the ground, yep.
It is.
And it was a Wusu that pushed. You didn't see it real well there, but it was a Wusu that pushed him into number 7, Ramondo Walker.
Then he ran over Steve Fry.
Yeah, first down and goal for the Warriors just inside the 10. Desmond Savage, there's some confusion on the line. The yellow flag out there somewhere. Actually, it's not 1st and 10. The Sticks were just late getting there. It's 1st and 10, but not 1st and goal. They're just outside the 10-yard line of the Bruins. And I have no idea what the call was.
I don't think there was a penalty. I think they had to wait for the
They had to wait for the
chain
Sticks,
gang.
yeah.
Yep. They weren't in on the conference, so they didn't know what to do.
So Savage comes up, 1st and 10. Low snap, picked up another whistle.
We got illegal procedure.
So Kecoughtan continues to hurt themselves with the penalties. Bob, a lot of disorganization offensively for the Warriors.
Yeah. And they look like they're completely out of sync. And again, it may be because he hasn't worked with the first unit that much. And I'm talking about Savage. I don't know if that's the reason, but it would be my guess right now.
They're certainly going to have to straighten that out as they go through this season. He is such a key part of this Warrior offense. So 1st down now and 15 yards for the Warriors. Coach Coley still yelling at his quarterback to get him straight.
Well, he's trying to get the wideouts up on the top of the screen.
Back goes Savage, screen over to the middle. And it was to Fugate who was pushing his lineman ahead of him. Several flags flying now. Well, that's because Fugate pushed him downfield. They say illegal man downfield, but Fugate was pushing him, trying to get some open space. It was illegal man downfield. That's going to bring it back, or the Bruins, I guess, could decline it. Let's see what the call is.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
So Kecoughtan moves 5 more yards back. They're back to the 21-yard line of the Bruins. 1st down and 20. That time Fugate had no space at all, Bob.
No, he didn't. And Savage got hit by 2 Bruins.
Here's the play here. You'll probably see Fugate if they get the camera. That's a tough angle. You see him push it number 60 ahead of him.
Daquan Silver, number 73, senior 6'5", 320, was right in his face.
You get hit at the line of scrimmage, still gets up and gets 6 yards, maybe down 7. And that's what Jason Fugate brings to this offense. A late handoff.
Well, he not only delayed handoff, but he was hit and was able to spin out of the tackle and then pick up an extra 3 to 4 yards.
2nd and 13 now with 7:39 to go here in the third quarter. 14-7 Bethel here at Darling Stadium.
Kecoughtan knocking at the door.
First drive of the second half, and they've not relinquished the ball. Fugate behind Savage in the backfield. This time he stays in the block. Throw over the middle. It's a good catch
open,
there.
Wide open.
That is number 4, Keith Grandy, with a touchdown catch. So a 13-yard passing touchdown from Savage to Keith Grandy. And that puts the Warriors only a point behind here with the extra. 2 points behind with the extra point to go, and they're going to go for 1. No, the scoreboard now has caught up. It is 14-13. Extra point. Number 87, the kicker for the Warriors. No, they're going to fake it, and the holder gets dragged down.
They didn't fake it. The ball was, the only way he could catch that ball was to stand up. There was no chance for him to put it down.
So Ryan Wright with no chance to put the set down. And number 14 was the holder for, that's Cameron Stevenson holding the ball, and he held on to it. So the Warriors in an uncomfortable position, Bob. This is the score they lost to Granby with, 14-13.
I wonder if you picked up on that.
So we'll slide back over here so we can see. You'll see the play. You'll see the big lineman come in. A good drive for Kecoughtan, though.
Yeah, they got the ball. They got a good return on the kick, and then they marched right down the field. In spite of the penalties, they still moved it down. But that was a great pass, a great route, delay over the middle, wide open by Grandy.
Three deep for the Bruins, all wearing the number 20-something. Kickoff goes to the left side. Fielded at the 16. Spin up to the 30. And that's all he's going to get. And he keeps getting pushed back further. But they're going to give him up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
That was number 26 for the Bruins with the catch of the kickoff.
26 was Meredith Tyler.
Tyler Meredith, I think.
Yep, I believe you're right. Tyler Meredith, seniors, 5'9".
First and 10 for the Bruins from their own 30 here. They're clinging to a 1-point lead with 7:08 to go here in the third quarter. LaKendra Lothar back in his quarterback spot. Wearing the number 2, the junior. Good snap, handoff on the right side. Number 22, DeAndre Gillis with the carry back to the line of scrimmage.
Great defense that time. And look, I'm sure I don't have the binoculars.
Yep. We need to have a drone out there to fly over and give us the numbers. Big lineman on that side is number 55 for Kecoughtan. Takes up a lot of space out there. So 2nd and 10 for Bethel. And off again, further out the right side. A little more success that time. So Gillis again with the run. Picks up 5. 3rd down and 5 for Bethel on the near hash mark. That last drive by Bethel, 8 plays. 47-yard drive leading to the touchdown, bringing the Warriors within 1. 14-13 Bethel here with 5:55 to go in the third.
Big third down.
Lothar fakes it, and he's going to take it himself. And he's had some success. He went the wrong way, but he still made up and got the first down. His own coaches over here are screaming at him to run the other way.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd hear him, but he did hear. He must have heard something. He picks up 6 for the first down. Lothar has shown the ability to run his way out of trouble tonight.
Well, that was a design play. Everything was stacked to the right side. It was almost naked on that side running around. But you're right. He almost went east and west instead of north and south. Just did pick up the yardage for the first down.
So Gillis on the left side of Lothar. And number 1, Hudson on the right. Now he's out, split out. And this time Lothar with the design run. He's up over the 50, still going down to the 40, almost the 44-yard line. They give him to the 45.
Well, he picked up 13 yards.
So Lothar showing some run we haven't seen.
And there was a design play.
Number 1 of the Warriors on the tackle.
So Lothar now with a couple of runs helping his team down the field. First and 10 for Bethel from the 45-yard line. This time it's Hudson on the left side, up over the 45, down to the 40 and over. They're going to give him to the 40-yard line, 5-yard pickup for Dwayne Hudson, second down and 5. Bob, the running backs have been interchangeable, Gillis and Hudson.
Well, Hudson was started. He wasn't the starter to begin with, but he was started tonight, first game that we've had him as a starter. He's just a junior, 5'10", 170.
Very mirror images of each other,
Yes,
Gillis
they
and
are.
Hudson.
They're not very close to the same size.
So Gillis on the left of Lothar, Hudson on the right. This time it's Gillis to the right side.
And he's not easy to bring down. He's not a big guy.
And he keeps cutting out to the right and cutting back, but he's doing a good job avoiding the solo tackles.
Well,
down to the 26-yard line.
He's a senior.
Here he is.
And he's 185. He's got about 15 more pounds than Hudson has. But you can see right there, he's not an easy guy to bring down. Took 4 Warriors to bring him down.
First and 10 for the Bethel Bruins on the 26, and one of their better sustained drives of the night. Lothar, the quarterback, with his running backs on either side. Hudson on the right, Gillis on the left. Gillis moves that time.
And you can't get in the neutral zone, and that's what it was that time, the defensive end.
Defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's lucky for Bethel because Gillis is up on his toes ready to go, and he actually fell over before the ball was snapped. Could have easily been on him. So first and 5 now for the Bethel Bruins. Trying to regain their lead. They're up by 1, 14-13 here as we approach the end of the third quarter.
I think we could hear the official real good that time.
Lothar this time takes himself around the left side, gets by 1 tackler.
And picked up, looks like he picked up about 4.
Takes it real close to the first down marker. Picked up 4, the second and 1. Second and 2. It's hard to,
Well, I think it's 1.
close out there.
Yeah, it's close enough. Long one.
It is 1. So Lothar helps himself out again. It's his 3rd rush this time, this set of down.
He's getting more confidence all the time, being able to move the ball, not only with the 2 running backs he's got, Hudson Gillis, but also running it himself.
This time Hudson right up the middle, right behind Gillis. And
And
Hudson's
he's going
still
to
going.
score.
And he scores. Touchdown, Dwayne Hudson. So Hudson takes it in, putting the Bruins up 20-13 with a chance to add another point here in the point after. Nice play. As that time Gillis and Hudson didn't cross. Gillis went in front of Hudson, cleared the path, and Hudson right behind him.
He had great blocking that time. But you see both of these teams came out second half. The coaches made enough adjustments to help their offense, and they both moved the ball right down the field. I think Bethel had a little easier time and didn't have as many penalties.
The left-footed kicker, John V, on the kick. And he puts another one through.
And that puts the Bruins up by 8.
So John Vasilikopoulos, a 6', 255-pound kicker, puts it through. Here's a good shot there by either Ron Baton or Steve Fryer. What a nice
That's
ground level.
Ron Baton
on
that
one
side. Yeah, Ron Baton's at that end of the field.
Well, that time it's hard to tell which one had the ball until Gillis laid his block out and Hudson right behind him, scooting around and going in the end zone. 21-13.
They complement each other real well back there. Even though they're mirror image, one's got 15 more pounds, really ends up being a better blocker.
You mentioned earlier in the first half how similar they look to Woodside.
Yes.
Woodside runs that, is it a single wing?
No, it's a double wing they run. Yeah, they run a double wing with a misdirection. The Bethel was coming out of two halfbacks in the backfield with the quarterback in the, I think, shotgun or the pistol or whatever you want to call it. But he's running a lot. Lothar is running a lot because he can fake it to the running backs who have been very, very consistent.
Vasilopoulos now. The kick. This is Edwards to the near side. Grandy to the far for Kecoughtan. Few changes there late for the Bethel Bruins. Now they're ready. John V awaits. Big left footer kicks off. That's going to be Grandy over there. Number 4, and he comes around the end. Breaks one tackle.
And then there's a scrum.
Up to about the 29-yard line. Keith Grandy again.
We got to get our director to understand the difference between a design run and a not design run.
You're talking about our director, Andy Foley, who's in the truck and doesn't come out on the field?
Right, that's the guy. When a quarterback goes back to pass and he has to run, that is not design.
First down for Kecoughtan. They trail now by 8 with 2:43 to go in the third quarter.
Anybody that's a Viking fan ought to be able to figure that out, right?
You know, they don't pick up a lot of yards in the Vikings anymore, so maybe that's the problem.
Maybe that is. I don't know.
Savage, Fugate now permanently ensconced to his right, and it is Jason Fugate. He drops the ball, and the ball's loose. Bethel picks it up, then drops it themselves. Now it's picked up.
Took it again.
So two fumbles and 2 recoveries. The last recovery, the important one, number 25 for the Bethel Bruins. Isaiah Norris has had his breath knocked out. He's been roughed as the punter, and now he has recovered a fumble for the Bruins, and they're knocking on the door, Bob.
But that is a defensive end that's heads up play right here.
Well, 21 tried to pick it up and run with it. That's Josh Hagens.
Coaches will tell you, get the ball, get on the ground, get the ball.
I'm sure the coach will tell him Monday about that, but he did get it to his teammate. 1st and 10 Bethel here from the 16 of the Warriors. They lead by 8. High snap to Lothar. This time Lothar's actually got a blocker. It's his first time with a blocker. And he fumbles it out of bounds, but not before picking up a yard or 2.
He didn't pick much.
Well, that time Dwayne Hudson came out and blocked for him.
Had the blockers in front, but it looked like it was just slow developing, even with the blockers.
Even his own coaches over here were yelling at him to do something differently, but it's going to be 2nd and 10 now.
Yeah, he didn't pick up enough yardage for the first down.
That ball may have been tossed backwards on him. The Lothar now.
Where it went out of bounds.
Hudson on the right, Gillis on the left. That time it's Gillis up over the 15. And down to about the 13-yard line. And maybe being generous. We've got one lineman to 13, one at the 14 and 3/4. The ball gets spotted.
We're going to get a couple yards.
Number 22, DeAndre Gillis.
So Gillis gets his carry. Now it's Hudson's turn. We'll see if they continue to go like that. That last drive for Bethel, one of their longest of the night, 70-yarders. 5 first down, 17-yard touchdown run. Lothar again with his 2 teammates. That time it's Hudson to the left side. No room for it at the end there.
Kecoughtan stepped up. Their defense stepped up big time. You got Chris, Moody, Burwell, Thompson on the line right there, and the linebackers, Wilson, Webb. Those guys just closed in. There was no running room at all. They just got back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe we'll see a field goal attempt by John V.
Maybe so. We saw him kicking beforehand. Brent was saying it's hard to see the running backs. It appears that Hudson stays on his right hand and Gillis on his left. 22 on the left. Now this is John Vasilopoulos. The 255-pound place kicker, and there looks like a delay.
We got a timeout.
The flag dropped in the backfield.
They got 12 men on the field.
No penalty. Timeout was called.
No penalty, timeout.
Because there were 12 men on the field.
But this is an important kick.
Yes, it is.
For the Bruins because it gives them a 2-score lead. They're holding an 8-point lead now with 1:06 to go in the third quarter. We're in Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia on September the 18th, 2015 on what is really a beautiful night for football.
It really is. And I'm very surprised that we don't have a packed house because you can't get a better value for your buck than to come out to the ball games and watch. This is just awesome to me.
Really can't. You know, when I was as a kid in this area around here, I of course went to Thorpe Junior High, which used to be right here behind the scoreboard. And came from with, but this was our starter place for a Friday night. Come here, watch some good football, and go tonight. We got a pretty good crowd here though tonight. It's good to see the Bethel fans with a good crowd on the visitor side, and in the home crowd, the Warriors usually bring a good crew. They probably have 200 band parents alone. The Vasilakopoulos now, the left footer. Good snap, good hold. Ball is up. And he made it. That's a big kick by John V. Puts the Bruins up 24-13 as we approach the end of the third quarter. So the turnover leads to the field goal for the Bethel Bruins.
But more important, what you said,
2 scores.
2 scores, because you can get 8 points, score a touchdown, get your 2-point conversion. Now you don't even want to try that.
And we know that the Warriors have scored 1 touchdown on their own. The other was a pickoff.
Right.
So here's the play here on the field goal. Vasilakopoulos. He doesn't seem to kick it far, but he kicks it straight and he gets it up in the air, and he looks to be getting better as he goes through the game.
And when I first saw him kicking it, I thought that he was keeping it was low. He wasn't getting much height in it, but he's getting better and better. And he's getting a lot of heck and a lot of experience.
And I'm getting a little practice on the name, John Vasilakopoulos. The kicker for the Bruins. Doing a fine job tonight. The Bruins still having trouble figuring out where they're supposed to stand on the far side. I'm sure Coach Beverly's not pleased with that. They have changed people on the left side several times. They're doing it again.
Well, now they got the right number out there.
Somebody's got to count them here. All right. Vasilakopoulos looks back. He is Grandy on the right, and it's a little scooch to Grandy. Right up the middle does Keith Grandy.
Whoa.
Good tackle down there.
Wow.
Low kickoff taken by Keith Grandy, number 4.
For the Bruins.
To about 30, 40
For the Bruins.
For the Bruins made the tackle.
20, that's
Number
Mitchell.
20.
Mitchell.
Good tackle by the young man because Grandy was trying to stretch that one up the middle.
Well, now he's a defensive tackle. You don't see many defensive tackles get down there, but he's 5'9", 220 senior. But he got down there, made great contact on that tackle.
So Savage comes out with the play. And he gives it to his teammates. 1st and 10 from the Warriors. They're on their own 33. Savage, number 13, Edwards behind him. Back to pass. Closes the pocket, closes in. Savage rolls to his left.
He was trying to square his shoulders to throw the ball and couldn't do it because he was running left for his life.
And he's a right-handed quarterback, so he had to turn all the way around to get a throw off. He couldn't do it. Big loss.
Oh my, that's about 11-yard loss, or 10 at least.
So second and 21. Second and 21. Ball on 22. Here's a replay here. You see Savage, nothing available downfield. And he's got to go out to the left side. Then he's got to square, and by that time it's too late.
There's no way he's going to do that.
And Desmond Savage having a tough night tonight, which is a compliment to the Bethel Bruins. 2nd down, 21 for Savage. With Edwards behind him. That time faked handoff. Savage has nothing. No room in the end for him in the middle. 3rd down, and he may have picked up a yard. Nope, he lost half a yard.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter. 24-13.
Wow.
Would not have believed it.
Well, as we mentioned early in the game, Kecoughtan comes in scoring 30 a game. Bethel comes in scoring 13, and we've seen just the inverse of that here. We've seen the opposite. And Bethel, when they got that first touchdown back in the first quarter, it gave them a little bit of giddy up in their step.
Yeah, and that was with 3:25 to go in the first quarter. They scored, and you could see the difference in the demeanor of the kids.
Britt Musgrove, our great statistician, and I've borrowed his binoculars here, so I'm trying to recite to him who's running the ball. It is not easy. You can't hear us on the headset. Say, you can't hear me on the headset, can you, Brandon? I'm sorry. I'm borrowing your binoculars, but I'm trying to recite who's running the ball because it is difficult with the. You pop me on the arm. Well, the nice thing about the setup of Bethel is the same. Gillis on the right, Hudson on the left, with Lothar in the middle, and you know, if they just put numbers on the shirts, it'd be easier for all of us. So Kecoughtan in trouble right here, Bob. 12 minutes to go, and they're in the hole by 11. Bethel coach is about having a fit with their defense dancing. Enjoying an 11-point lead, but it's still a quarter to go, and you got a really good team here.
You cannot sit back and rest. You got to continue to fight.
Jason Fugate in the backfield, and the handoff is fake, and it pass is incomplete to Keith Grandy on the far side. That was Grandy he was throwing to, who slipped trying to go back and get it, and it's going to be 4th down.
Reason he had to go back and get it because Savage had 2 Bruins right in his face.
And Coach Coley not happy with that offensive performance. Back to punt is Tyler Christ for the Warriors from his own 6-yard line.
Who we got deep for the Bruins? Can you get that number?
They're going to try if he turned this way. And he's got it, number 23 for the Bruins. And he picks up the block. He pointed for one and got it. And a good tackle out there by number 13 for the Warriors. He had the tackle.
13 is Edwards.
Edwards made the
DeQuandre Edwards, that sophomore that he's been in the backfield a couple times, hasn't he?
He played very well tonight on offensive and defensively. The ball carrier, number 23 for the Bruins.
Well, he picked up about 10 yards that he was going to lose.
There's a replay here. He goes left. There's no room there. Now he points to his blocker and says, give me a little help. And he gets it right there. Nice block.
And actually got 2 of them.
So the Bruins 1st down and 10 from the Warriors 40. They cling to 11-point lead now with 11:40 to go in the 4th quarter. A touchdown here may cement it for Bethel.
Come on, defense.
This time, handoff inside to Gillis. Gillis tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Tyler Christ of the Warriors. 2nd down.
I'm impressed with Chris. I tell you, he is everywhere. That was a play that should have gone somewhere, and he fought off the blocker, made the tackle, and they only picked up about 2.5 yards.
We've been impressed with Tyler Christ for a couple years now.
Yeah.
And he's a very smart ball player, and that time stayed home in the misdirection. 2nd down and 8 for the Bruins. Gillis again to the left, Hudson to the right of Lakendrell Lothar, the quarterback. The junior quarterback's done a nice job tonight. Good snap. That time Hudson to the left. Met at the line of scrimmage. He picks up. He's still going. He picked up at least 5 yards after contact.
Well, they call that yak.
That's Hudson. Dwayne Hudson brings the Bruins down close to the 1st down. 2 more yards to go. 3rd and 2 for Lakendrell Lothar.
Well, this will be a big play here because this could really put Kecoughtan back on their heels. If they pick up a 1st down here, then Kecoughtan is uphill battle.
Gillis to the left. Davis to the right of Lothar. Quarterback takes it himself to the right. And it's going to be a race to the line. He got it.
He did it. And you could hear the coaches in the background over here say, cut, cut.
It's funny, the coaches up here for Bethel, as we watch Lothar take it over the 20-yard line, pick up first down, they have been shouting at him like he can hear them.
Yeah, I know. They do that.
And they
one of my good friends, Frank Brown, who helps the Bruins, was actually a quarterback for Coach Kozlowski, who's over there standing with those coaches.
Well, the nice thing to see is that Lothar seems to get more comfortable every play.
He does that.
Lothar in the shotgun with his compatriots, Gillis and Hudson. This time he fakes with the point and he pays for it. Number 42 of the Kecoughtan Warriors tackle.
And that's
Lothar.
Casman Webb, who is an 11th grader, 210. Good shot of Brent.
There we are. See, he's hiding behind all this equipment, standing on our tippy toes watching the game.
And I'm over here to the right. They can't see me.
Second down. Pick me up. It's usually the shine off the top of the head. My daughter will give me a hard time about that.
I was not going to say anything about that. I was biting my tongue.
2nd and 15 for Lothar and the Bruins from the 34. This time it is Hudson, and he is tough to bring down. He gets those 6 yards back. Kecoughtan stops him, though. 3rd and 10 now for the Bruins. 3rd and just inside 10, 3rd and 9. Another big play for Bethel as the clock ticks. 8:44 to go here in the 4th quarter. They will have 11-point lead, 24-13. Bethel has 115 yards on the ground here in the second half against this Kecoughtan defense. Again, Lothar looking to the sideline. He's got Gillis on the left, Hudson to the right. He steps back, flips the ball in his hands, and makes a throw over.
And that was the only receiver out for a pass.
Number 15 for the Bruins was the intended receiver, Terry Chisley. I don't believe Chisley's caught a pass tonight. He's been one of their top receivers. 4th down now at 9.
Well, that was just a little high. You got to get that ball down low, so because he goes up, he's going to get sandwiched. Little high. Nice try, though. And the defensive man hanging on him.
Well, the clock stops with an incomplete pass, which hurts the Bruins. Now they call timeout. Their first timeout taken here. They lead 24-13 with 8:18 to go in the 4th.
Talk a little bit about our crew again. Make sure we mention them. We've got on the cameras on the sideline, Ron, ESPN Baton, and Steve Fry. Up in the stands, we got Susan Bowers and Wube Gabre, number 1 son. In the truck, we got Matt Buckwalter, Randy Bagoli, Krista Campbell, Renee Camden, and Andy Foley.
And all the pizza is in the truck.
Well,
so that tells you why we haven't heard from many of them.
That's true. And Andy's had his hand on both of them.
You know, talking to us in here, I want to thank Andy Foley for getting us set up tonight. This is our first game here at Darling Stadium. We did Hampton's 800th victory a couple weeks ago up at Todd Stadium. It was nice to be up at Todd, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice. And we had, they went over backwards to help us out. And you did the stats and actually had on a headset, which really made it nice.
That was nice to be a part of it. It really was. 4th down now at 9. Bruins coach Beverly said, let's go for it. Lothar waits for the snap. He gets it. He looks, all the receivers covered. Now he finds one that's standing in the corner wide open. Touchdown.
Touchdown. Whoa. How did he find him?
That is Joshua Owusu, number 6 with the touchdown. That's a big guy to ignore.
Well, that's his second touchdown.
And he has played well. Of course, the Owusu brothers for 6. Joshua Owusu with the touchdown. The 2 Owusu brothers have been a big part of Bethel athletics for the last 3 years.
Yes, they have, and they're both of them are very good basketball players. Got great feet.
I understand 3 sports stars. Now, John V. Thank goodness I can read the length of the name. John Vasilikopoulos in for another extra point. Left footer kicks it up. When it comes to kicking, the 16-yard field goal. He's the man you want right there. And of course, he does have a field goal of longer that has made the difference, gave him a 2-score.
Now we got
lead.
a 3-score, 32-13.
Boy, it is tough. So the Warriors really in trouble here with 8:09 to go in the fourth quarter. Here's the pass, the play. Lothar back, looks, reads a book, then finds Owusu. He found him right before Steve Fryer. That was Wube Gabray found him. I think they had forgotten Owusu over there.
Well, and you have to understand that was 4th down.
Right.
If he hadn't completed, Kecoughtan would have had the ball, had a chance to drive down, stopping them on the, stopping them down there. You'll give their offense a little kickstart.
So John V., whose leg probably is sore, this is the most he's kicked all year long, even with the 31-point output last time. He's got a field goal tonight. He's kicked off several times. Big part of the Bethel success. And Lothar, what a game that young man's had.
I am duly impressed with that young man.
Back
I think he's kind of sealed the starting job.
This is Grandy on the near side, Fugate on the far, and it goes to Jason Fugate. He's had a couple fumbles tonight, have been deadly for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Now he comes up the middle, and you can see why they like him. Now look at John V., and he's going to outrun the 255-pound kicker, and there is Jason Fugate doing exactly what the Kecoughtan Warriors needed him to do. Running the kick back about 90 yards. So Jason Fugate with another great play for the Kecoughtan Warriors, his second touchdown of the night. That brings them within 12. And let's see what Kecoughtan does here with the 12-point deficit. Kicking the point makes it 11, a 2-point game. Well, that's the wound spring, Bob.
Yep.
Jason Fugate, who we have really enjoyed watching over the past couple of years, and that's what he does best, which is get in the open field and go. Extra point now.
No, they're going
no,
for
they're going to go for 2. Savage. He calls timeout. He's calling timeout. Walks right to the official and calls timeout. He had Edwards to his right.
And it's got one, that gives him one timeout left.
Makes it tough to try to win in here at the end, but that's the good start with Jason Fugate. Here it is. That's Karan Nixon the left. Here's Fugate from his 8. Going 92 yards. It comes up the middle. Good blocking in the middle, and he just outruns guys there, and then the wall behind. And it's up to John V., who, as I said, he's done everything, but he can't bring down Fugate as most cannot. So a 92-yard touchdown run by Jason Fugate, his second.
And that's the first score of the second half, or second score from Kecoughtan, right?
Right, after that long drive at the beginning.
Yeah.
They hadn't done much in the middle of the second half. Now they have drawn it back, and they're trying to get within 10. Of course, if you get within 11, that's 2 scores too, Bob.
Yes, it is.
So Savage now. He's going to try to pass it, and he's wide open over there is Edwards. Number 13 with the catch. That is that's 13, DeQuandre Edwards, a sophomore who's been all over the field tonight for the Warriors. Looks like we got a question. Is there a penalty out there? There is a penalty. And it's a penalty on the defense. They're going to, I would imagine they're going to take that on the kickoff.
If it's after the play.
Let's see what he's done. He went over and asked. Here's the call.
Pass interference on the defense, 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the kickoff. Results of the play are good.
I would have thought a pass interference would be just declined. And
Yeah. I don't know how you get both.
I don't know whether they get the benefit of that. So the Bruins enjoyed their big lead briefly, surrender the long touchdown or the kickoff return to Jason Fugate. It's a 10-point game, 31-21 now. Bethel has 7 minutes and 55 seconds. Of course, their offense has been clicking along here and eating up a lot of clock. So let's see if they can do it again here. Now, there is confusion about who's kicking off.
Well, no.
No, they're going to award the penalty here. Okay.
15 yards further.
That is odd, isn't it?
They're going to kick from the 45 of the Bruins, and I didn't think you could get the play and the penalty.
Coaches are going crazy over here. Hey. He's not. So they've assessed a 15-yard penalty. There's going to be a lot of discussion here from the Bethel sideline about whether this is proper. This is a matter of rules. Coaches up here are livid. But right now, Bethel going to kick off from the, Kecoughtan kicking off from the Bethel 45. So number 87, the kicker. The only one listed as a kicker on both is Ryan Wright. He's going to kick off from the 45. And he's going to kick it in the end zone.
Well,
if they let it go, he would have kicked in the end zone.
And there had to be a penalty on the kickoff because there's only 3 players on this side of the thing. You can't run it out of the end zone.
Well, that's a little bit of confusion all around out there. In particular, on the Bethel's number 5, who caught the kick on the goal line. All he had to do was let it go in, and he picked up 15 more yards. That was Bernard West, a junior, who caught the ball. It's a lot of confusion. The Bethel coaches up here are just livid, and that's going to be a rule discussion that they'll have to have after the game now as the play's in the book. So Bethel 1st and 10 from their 10. 31-21 Bethel, 7:49 to go here in the 4th quarter. A real swing of momentum there with a 92-yard run back by Fugate and the penalty assessed on the kickoff. Lothar, it is cast of characters. There's Gillis to the right. Over the line of scrimmage, up down to the 17.
He did a great job of
Gillis
picking up.
22.
He picked up a lot of yards after he was hit. Made the cut
pick up
inside.
7.
And we got number 1 for the Warriors limping off there. That's
Caleb Tucker. He's been limping the whole second half, Bob. I saw him come off earlier. 2nd and 3 for the Bruins. A good start for Bethel after that confusing play and confusing penalty assessment.
I didn't.
Maybe we've missed something. Certainly it would be us and the Bethel coaches all missed the same thing. But it's a 2nd down and 3. Is all they can do now is try to go forward. This time Lothar takes him himself, runs into a trouble right in the middle. He loses a couple. That's Lothar making the decision not to hand the ball off. I think if he'd gone to the right, he would have had room. No room, though.
Yeah, they got back to the line of scrimmage.
So they marked him off 1. 3rd and a long 4 for the Bethel Bruins. Clock running, though, which is their friend.
And not when you got somebody explosive like Fugate.
That's right.
But you're going to have to punt to him.
1 timeout left for Kecoughtan, 2 for the Bruins. 3rd down here and about 4. Lothar gets the snap, hand off that time to Dwayne Hudson.
And he didn't get it.
He did not get it. And they're going to have to punt. The ball up to the 18-yard line. They needed to get to the 20, 4th down and 2. Deron Nixon makes the play there. Back to punt for the Bethel Bruins, number 25 for Bethel.
That's Norris.
That's Isaiah Norris, who's really been all over the place. He got roughed in the first, and a roughing the kicker would help him here. Bethel is satisfied to have 11 on the field. Here's the play. Snap is good. No rush. Good punt. And they tackle
right at midfield almost.
They switched up the side. You notice Fugate came to the near side.
Yeah.
Trying to confuse them. That's Kevin Davis with the punt reception. They got a yard or 2. 1st down. Kecoughtan from their own 49 here with 5:17 to go. They're in the 10-point hole right here, Bob.
Come on. Get some water. We're going to need water.
Well, that's going to be an interesting play, Bob. We talked about officiating a little bit tonight. It's going to be a matter of rule one way or another.
Yeah, I was, they ask you want the play or the down. That's what they ask you when there's a penalty.
That's on a pass interference, certainly.
Yeah.
And that's what the call was, pass interference.
So it had to be during the live.
Well, Desmond Savage back now with trying to get a few more points on the ball. He hands it off Jason Fugate. Fugate met right there at the line of scrimmage. Number 21 with the tackle. That's Josh Higgins. He's had a great game.
Well, let me tell you what the Bethel Bruins have got to do. Their defense has got to step up and stop the Warriors. That's what's going to be the difference of the game, is the defense for the Bruins. If the Bruins can't stop them.
The clock's still running too. 4:50 to go here in the fourth. As Kecoughtan seems to take its time, get the play in. 2nd and 11 for the Warriors.
Well, they got to get the first touchdown. They've got to get in. They got 2 up, wideouts at the top of the screen and 2 at the bottom.
Savage with Fugate behind him. Savage backs the pass, going to be a screen pass. Over to Fugate down the left side again. He tiptoes down the line. He's out of bounds right about the 30. Looks like the 31, 32-yard line.
Well, let me tell you what, we have watched them throw or try that screen pass that was unsuccessful because he didn't get it. Every time they've run it here in the last, this whole quarter, it's been successful. Bethel really charges the quarterback, and it leaves that screen pass wide open.
Clock running here, 4:20 to go in the fourth. Savage, Fugate behind him. Savage drops back to pass, Fugate in the block. Long throw down the left side, incomplete.
And he was hit as he let go of the ball that time, 4:08. Clock will stop.
Intended receiver number 14, Cameron Stevenson.
And that ball was a good 5-6 yards beyond him.
Well, Savage has not been as sharp tonight as he normally is. Could be a function of defense, function of lack of playing time so far. But we know how well he can throw a ball.
Well, I know
Bethel's
that.
got to cover these receivers. This time Edwards behind him. No, yes, number 13, Quandre Edwards.
They got 3 wideouts at the top of the screen. And that's where he's looking to go, going to the short man.
And the short man, number 1, Caleb Tucker, who's been slowed by a bad ankle. It looked like a bad ankle most of the second half. That time he makes the reception, picks up a few yards.
Well, I thought he was going to get out of bounds, but he evidently didn't.
Clock still running, 3:47 to go here.
3rd and 4.
Savage setting his receivers. Got DeQuandre Edwards behind him in the tailback spot. Hands it to Edwards. Edwards up over the pile. Met and carried down to the 20-yard line.
Well, that'll stop the clock for the first down. And that takes him right to the 20.
So 1st and 10 for the Warriors here with 3:31 to go. They're set and ready to go as soon as the play comes in. Savage has got it in.
And the clock has started.
Grandy to the left, far left. You get out of the game. Oh, he fumbled the ball. Picked up by Savage. He rolls to the left, makes a throw down, and the pass is caught. Touchdown, number 14. Number 14 for Kecoughtan, Cameron Stevenson with a touchdown reception.
That is not a touchdown.
Oh, not a touchdown. We had a sign on the left there, not. It was just inside the 5.
Up there on the top, the guy that said caught the ball did not signal a touchdown.
So it's 1st and goal from the inside the 5-yard line. Savage with Edwards behind him. Hands it to Edwards. He tries to go left. Met right there.
Well, you know, that was a great play by Savage. That the ball, he dropped the ball and actually picked it up and then still had vision to find that guy in the corner.
And he spikes it there, Bob. Clock is running, 2:49 to go here in the fourth quarter. So a little confusion about where that ball was spotted, but
well, they're back. They were right down at the goal line. Now they look like
they've dropped it. They were right inside the 5. It was a little confusing there where the ball was placed, but it was placed inside the 5. Now it is at the 6. 3rd down from the 6. 3rd and goal. 31-21 Bethel here with 2:49 to go. In a hectic and controversial late part of the fourth quarter here at Darling Stadium. Frank Edgar and Bob Hentz with Brent Musgrove trying to bring you to the end of an exciting game. That time, Jason Fugate is fake 2. It's Savage inside the 5 down to about the 4.
And then they can't spike it again because they're 4th down now.
It's 4th and goal. Savage with Fugate behind him. If you got anybody to give it to, that's the man. He sees him back there. Snap is good. He drops back to pass. Goes to the right side. It's a touchdown pass.
Number 4.
Keith Grandy. Grandy with a touchdown. So 2 touchdowns within a couple of minutes here for the Warriors. Bring them much closer to the Bethel Bruins. 31-27 now.
Let's go!
Kecoughtan. They can kick the extra point, be within 1, and that's what they're going to try to do.
Within 1 score.
This is Tyler Wright, the kicker. Ryan Wright, and the hold is flubbed. And so it's 31-27 with 2:21 to go.
Field goal's going to do you no good now.
And it just seemed to be a little bit of confusion there on that. A little maybe rush, Bob. A little rush there?
Probably was. Right now, if you kick it in, you got to get the ball back, so you're going to kick an onside kick. Bethel knows you're going to try an onside kick, so what they got to do is put their people with good hands up on the line.
The play that time, Joshua Wusu beat by the receiver Grandy, just an inside slant route. And so now Bethel's going to have to get its hands team in there. 2:21 to go in the 4th. 4-point lead for the Bethel Bruins against the favorite Kecoughtan Warriors. There was no question they were the favorite coming in tonight.
Yeah.
And Bethel looks like it's woken up offensively. Let's see what they can do here.
And the Bruins can move clear up to the 50, can't they? They can within 10 yards, yeah.
I think they're asking now. Yeah, they want to be within 10. They haven't all figured that out yet. Here they come. So this is where that new rule comes into play, Bob. You got to have enough on either side, right?
But the last time they kicked the ball, they only had 3 at this end. And they
got away with it?
Yeah, they got away with it.
Fielded out there by Bethel and falls down at the 35-yard line.
And Kecoughtan's got 1 timeout, so they can stop the clock 1 time.
Buffalo's number 85, Asani Barnes with the reception. Very smart play by Barnes to catch that ball and just drop down.
Drop. Don't try to go anywhere.
Now Kecoughtan can stop the clock once with 2:18 to go here in the 4th. Let's see what brand new coach William Beverly has got up his sleeve here with the Bethel Bruins. This would be a big win for the new coach.
Well, this would be his first win.
Second, they beat Warwick Monday night.
I'm sorry, Warwick, that Monday night game.
Throws everybody off. Lothar. He's going to follow his running backs around the right end. Eating up some time. He's caught in the backfield and tackled. Tackled by Kecoughtan's number 7. That's Ramondo Walker.
Well,
not Walker, I apologize.
Walker's on the Bruins team.
Yeah, we got the wrong sheet up there. Number 7 is Karan Nixon, who's played very well defensively for Kecoughtan.
Player of the game.
Well,
I got Kecoughtan. I got choice between Tyler Crisp and Grandy, and I'm going with that.
Despite Fugate's 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I agree with you on Bethel. I think Lakendrell Lothar has played very well tonight for the Bethel Bruins. He has grown in front of our eyes here in the last 3.5 quarters. I would go with Lothar, and you pick on Kecoughtan.
I will go with Tyler Crisp. I think he's the young man that's done some on both sides of the ball. It's just not one side. And I understand Fugate, interception for a touchdown and a run back for a touchdown. I understand that. But sometimes a guy that chipped away all night long, it's overlooked. And I think we ought to go with Tyler Crisp.
All right. Well, you got that pick. So Tyler Crisp and Lakendrell Lothar, the junior quarterback for Bethel, who's trying to hold on here. He's got 1:31 to survive. 2nd down and 13 for the Bruins. Timeout taken by the Bruins. In a surprising timeout. Let the clock go. But timeout taken. 1 timeout left apiece. There's the chairman of the school board and her husband, the commissioner of revenue, Ross Smuggler. Martha and Ross Smuggler. Glad to have them out here tonight. Their daughter, Ann Logan, one of the Kecoughtan cheerleaders. Back to the field now. Lothar in the middle. He hands it this time to Gillis. Gillis tries to go right. Tackle there by player of the game, Tyler Christ. That was 22, Gillis. He's going to drop. There's a flag thrown. So the clock stops.
Who is the
flag? Looks like it's going to be on the Bruins.
Oh,
once again, a discussion. I tell you one thing: if this thing turns around and Bethel has there's illegal procedure play on Bethel, so they can either take the down. Actually, depends.
Illegal formation on
Legal
the offense.
formation.
Decline. Third down.
Legal formation penalty decline, so it's third down, but the clock stops. So third down and about 13 for the Bethel Bruins, trying to cling to their lead. The clock has started again. 1:20 to go here in the fourth.
Well, the Kecoughtan still has the one timeout.
Lothar. Cure with his running backs. This time he hands it to Hudson. Hudson, as he does, carries runners down. Smack down there.
Well, Kecoughtan is going to have about a minute, just under a minute, to do something.
Well, they call their timeouts. 4th down and 10 for the Bruins. So 4th and 10, Bruins are going to have to punt the ball away. I'm going to take a stab at it and say Jason Fugate's going to be back to
you think he might be?
To try to catch the punt. This is where if you got a punter that can angle it out of bounds after about 40 yards, you do it.
If it's only 20 yards, you take it out of bounds. Don't let anybody run it back.
Because they have no way to stop the clock on offense if it's passing. Here comes the Bruins, 4th down. Now our player of the game, we mentioned Tyler Christ from Kecoughtan and Lakendrell Lothar, the quarterback. The surprise of the night, pleasant surprise for Bethel Bruin fans. A nightmare for the Warriors as Lothar shows his mettle as the quarterback for the Bruins. Let's see if they can hang on for Lothar here.
Are they going to go for the return or the block? I think they're going for the return.
Snap is good. Punt is angled to the near sideline. And it's way up. And the Kecoughtan coaches are trying to help spot it. And it is spotted at the 48-yard line of Kecoughtan. So 51 seconds to go here in the ball game. 31-27.
Did you see
Bethel.
when the punter was back there, nobody rushed. He just stand there.
He should have just stood there
Just
and
stood
just
there.
had patience.
Right.
That's a hard thing to teach.
Yes, it is.
Even the NFL punters often don't see that nobody's coming. So 1st and 10, Kecoughtan. Coach Coley shouting at his team, trying to organize this. He has no way to stop the clock. So here they come. Fugate behind Desmond Savage, the quarterback. Savage back to pass. Looks to the right. Got a couple receivers and is picked off.
And that's the end of the game unless he turns it over.
That is number 9, that's Jeremiah Owusu. And he's still going. His coach is yelling at him to get out.
Get down.
So the pass was thrown into heavy coverage. Three Bethel
defense.
Bruin defenders. And Savage threw it in the middle of it, and that's Jeremiah Owusu, number 9, with the pick. Surprising Savage made that decision as he went to the right side where all 3 defenders had gathered around the receiver, overthrew the receiver right in the hands of Jeremiah Owusu. So the Owusu brothers, big contributions tonight for the Bethel Bruins.
Both of them, absolutely. And that
Here's the play here. You see the receiver comes down. Long throw. So long, Jeremiah Wusu's the only one who could catch it. And off he goes, not to be outdone by his brother. Lothar to take a knee now for the Bruins. Absent some sort of New York Giant problem, or was it the Giants or the Eagles that had that great gaff at the end of the game? But not this time for the Bruins. That's going to do it, I think.
Yeah, the clock, and they can just let the clock run out now. Great first game.
Very, what exciting ending.
Had no
Kecoughtan
idea
shows you what they can do. They creep up to their average.
Hey,
the problem is
58 points scored. I had no idea that many points would be scored.
we have a 14-7 halftime score.
Yeah, no, 14-13.
14-13. So, well, Coach William Beverly picks up a big second win of his first season with the Bethel Bruins. 31-27 win for the Bruins over the Warriors tonight.
A great job, and I tell you, you have to be pleased with the two running backs he had, Hudson and
Gillis.
Gillis, one on each side, and I thought that Lothar did a good job of passing the ball later on.
Well, he passed the ball well, and then he had a couple of runs there late in the first, early in the second, where he ran the ball and picked up the first down a couple of times. Part of which way have we picked him to player of the game?
Fake the handoff to the running backs, and then he took it.
Well, congratulations to Coach William Beverly and his new program there at Bethel High School. What a nice performance by the Bethel Bruins tonight. They hang on to defeat the Kecoughtan Warriors 31-27. Well, we want to thank our crew tonight, Bob. We've had a great crew tonight, and, of course, our good friend Brent Musgrove. What a job on the stats tonight. He's gone through a good half stack of yellow notes, and that includes the first half where we didn't have much offense. He still went through a lot of those. I want to thank Brent. But so for all the crew here at Darling Stadium in Hampton, for Bob Hintz, this is Frank Edgar signing off on Game 1 of what's going to be exciting 2015 season here on LSC 48. Final score here, the Bethel Bruins 31, the Kecoughtan Warriors 27. Good night.
Good night.